Finally.
Yes.
Woo!
Finally. Sorry for that little bit of that delay.
No. Finally, you're back.
Oh yes, I am back. But I checked up on you guys, on you and Joe, and you guys did phenomenal work. I'm so
Yeah, we
thrilled.
did okay.
Yeah, I got to see our old friend Vic Medina. I got to hear about the process, which was earlier. The second episode was yesterday. I was driving back with my 10-hour drive, and I was able to catch up on that. So excited that we got new shows. We got all sorts of new things that are happening. In case everybody didn't see the social media happenings for Comic Cast, we are getting incorporated. It's going to be a great business venture. We're launching our comic platform that's going to be, or it's in development, and we'll be launching that pretty soon. So lots of big things that are happening, and I'm just so happy to be back here on the show. I am broadcasting from my parents' place. It's a little different. So notice the nice decor here. But I want to welcome everybody to another edition of Comics Cast Let It Out on Sunday, October 24th. And I just want to say hi to my most excellent co-host, Rick. It's good to see you again, man.
It's good to be seen. I mean, it's good to see you.
Yeah, Joe Tolliver says, "Hey, nice to see me back too." So that's all good. So
that was for me, obviously.
Oh, that was for you. All right, I see how it goes.
And Roy Mercado is glad to see his favorite love team. I'm not sure how to respond.
I don't know how to take that. I don't know how to take that. But hey, let's just talk a little bit about Comics Cast before we get our guests in here. So Comics Cast, what is Comics Cast? Comics Cast is all about the independent creator. If you're in the indie community, the comic community, and you're a creator, we want you on the show. We want to help get eyes on you. We want the world to know about you and your IPs, your intellectual property, as well as your original characters. So we are pushing our YouTube presence. So if you want to check us out, let me pull up that banner here. If you found us through Facebook, we are just at Comics Cast on Facebook. But if you want to find us on YouTube, add INDIE, which is Indie Comics Cast in front of it, and look for our banner, our nice red and white banner there. And you can see Rick is on top of it. He's showing our video page. And if you look at it, we have a plethora. I
haven't missed that.
We have a plethora. I said it 3 times already. We have a plethora, 4 times videos that you can check out, which has all of our past Let It Out episodes, as well as the Artist Roundtable, which is the ART show, as well as Rick's super limited edition mentor block.
It's coming back.
Oh, it's coming back. Well, it's coming back as a different beast. It's still going to be.
It's still the same, Carol. Just with one teacher. But
okay. All right.
It's the same.
Okay. Rick is gonna
And speaking of teacher, he says hello. He says it's great to see us again.
Yeah, Vic is in the house. So just to give you guys a little bit of a hint what's coming down the pipe in terms of what Rick has in store with the great Vic, we have the Rick and Vic Art Tricks. Tricks. It's going to be the Art Tricks show. It's still being ironed out in terms of like what's going to be done and who the guests are, but it's going to be really, really cool because, Rick's involved. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. Yep. And if you haven't seen Vic's artwork, check that out. He's a super talented guy, and we're so happy to have him help us out with Comics Cast. But enough about Comics Cast. Let's check out that link after the show. So you see that. You can go to YouTube, like, and subscribe. Let me hide that right there. And let's go ahead and get to the meat and potatoes of the show, which is our featured guest for today. And I'm going to do the drum roll, and Rick's going to get him in. So here we go.
And I have to drum roll a lot because there's so many people.
The camera is shaking. Here we go. Awesome. I want to welcome everybody. This is the Comic Book School coming back for their second appearance. They were here last year. But we have a totally new crew. Oh, actually, we have some oldies but goodies and some new people to come along. If you want to talk about if we want to talk about the Comic Book School from last year, we have returning guests, AA Rubin. Say hi to everybody, AA.
What's up? How are you? Thanks for having me.
And then we also have D Alley. So D, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, nice to be back.
And then we have Sebastian Bonet, who is on our show as a soloist, I guess maybe a couple months ago. So glad to have.
I don't know. Time melts together, man. That's it. It just happened. It was yesterday, and
time melts. Because that's going to be something we're going to talk about. But Sebastian, welcome back. And then we also have our newest addition to the Comics Cast family. We have Arielle. Arielle, how you doing?
Greetings and salutations.
All right, so here we go. I want everybody to check out the scrolling ticker at the bottom, and you can see how you can follow our guests. And we're going to talk a little bit about them individually, and then we'll talk later on about their joint collaborative project under the Comic Book School banner, which is a phenomenal group that puts creators, together, indie creators together, whether they be writers or artists, and basically puts them together so they can put together some really awesome content. We're going to show some of that later on. But and we're also going to talk about the anthology project, which is the crew that we have assembled here, what they put together, which is a great short story, has a really nice, unique premise, I guess, to it, which allows you to incorporate not only different artists, but time periods and interpretations of these wonderful characters that Ari has put together. So that being said, let's move to the part of the show that we call the elevator pitch. Now, the elevator pitch on our show is a little different. It's you won't have the limitation of one floor to talk about what you guys are all about. You actually will have an entire skyscraper if you need it, because we want to hear all the nitty-gritty details in terms of like what got you to, what made you want to pursue comic book, independent comic creative work, in terms of writing or artistry. We just want to hear the whole story. So that being said, let's start with Ari, and I'm going to pull up some visual eye candy to go along with that. So Ari, the mic is now in your hands, and feel free to tell us a little bit about yourself and go from there. Here we go.
So my name is A.A. Rubin. You call me Ari. That's actually my real initials. I am a writer and an editor in a variety of mediums, ranging from literary fiction to comic books, poetry, science fiction, fantasy, almost everything in between. I've been writing for a long time. I had my first published short story in 2001, I think. So I've had short stories for a long time. I got into comic books later, and it was actually through the comic book school, through the panels that Buddy Scalera would run at New York Comic Con, that I learned how to make comics, and I've become more involved with them as an editor over the last few years. So again, I write. I'm a writer, and I will write in whatever medium fits the story, whatever is the most appropriate to the story. You see a lot of those coming up there now is from a project I'm doing with Marika Brasiano for Inktober, so sort of a way to get involved in Inktober as a writer. She's illustrating a bunch of flash fiction and short poems that I wrote. I have that Love Letters to Poe anthology. I have a poem in there. It's a anthology of work inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. I have a poem in there. I have my own poetry chapbook, which you saw a little while ago. And I'm working on another one right now. That's from Comic-Con this past year at the comic book school table. I have, and you see there are all sorts of things there. There's comics, there's science fiction, there's poetry, there's a whole variety of different things. So I write in a variety of different mediums, whatever kind of fits the story I do. And then I become more involved with Comic Book School as an editor and the promotion as well. I also have two stories in the anthology that just recently came out last week. It's the Remnants Anthology. If you could pull that one up. Yep. So actually, that cover is by Evan Scale, who also worked on the Mr. Stupendous story we're going to talk about. And that's a shared world science fiction anthology that just came out last week. You can find it on Amazon. I won 2 Writers Digest awards, one for rhyme poetry and one for genre fiction. The last of which, the genre fiction, was this year. So again, just a whole variety of different mediums, different stories, and that's basically what I do. Yeah, and I also have, even though I am not an artist and I will not be drawing on this show, I paint as a hobby, and I do have a painting in a local museum for their 85th birthday as part of a juried art show, which was the first picture up there. So oil painting probably take too long for this format.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see it over there hanging in the museum. The theme is the museum's 85th anniversary, and mine is called 85 Together. So the two are supposed to be.
I don't even have something in a museum. What the heck?
I had something in a museum once.
Get on it, Rick. Come on.
Yeah,
Join the club.
I mean, does a casino count? I mean,
Not if it's graffiti.
Does a strip club count?
Yeah.
No, moving on.
maybe.
I've been to a museum. How about that?
That works.
There you go.
I've
Well,
been
anyway,
to
that
a
is-
strip. No.
that
So
is
that piece is actually currently up until the end of the year in the Whaling Museum in Cold Spring Harbor, New York.
New York. Okay, so if you're ever in New York, go check out RA's debut or AA's debut in this museum. He's not the artist. He's not an artist on this show, but he has
we
art
plug-
in the museum. That's
Can we
amazing.
plug this guy? Can
Damn.
we plug this Joe Tolliver?
That's
He's being rude. He's being toxic.
he's being savage right now.
Yeah, he's toxic.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We got a little bit of love there from our fellow Comics Cast crew here. But let's continue our elevator pitch, because this elevator ride is still going, and we're gonna have next up we have D. Alley, and I was gonna say that we were like talking about AA. What does AA stand for? It's always awesome. For D. Alley, it's for dedicated, because she has a tremendous role in this project, and one that is very appreciative but very exhausting. She's actually been on a I guess a week-long just I was going to say a bender, but it's not a bender. It's basically
It's not a bender if you're producing something.
yeah, exactly. But you've been basically you've been so exhausted because you've had many roles that you've had to or many hats that you've had to wear. And I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about yourself. So I have some artwork here, and we'll go from there. So Dee, tell us about yourself.
So I'm a professional animator in my day job, and I was in a bit of a creative slump, and I met Buddy at Comic-Con, and he challenged me to do 8 pages, which is how the 8-page challenge was born. And so basically our anthology came out of that friendship that I have with Buddy, and producing this. We kind of got a lot of people on board. Ari introduced the flash fiction, and we did the anthology last year, and then we did it again this year. I ended up doing the layout. Well, I picked up the layout from a couple different people that helped out last year. And this year, I think I did 95% of it, just putting the book together once all of the comic pages and flash fiction was done. Ari, of course, is our regular proofer. So thank God for him, because I can't spell. But once we do that, basically, we go into like overload mode, and we just work on the production of the actual book. A lot of this stuff is actually a little bit older. Some of the stuff you might have seen last year when we were on. This was my Inktober for 2019, and then some drawings that I did for a gallery show in Dallas, along with the people who bought the pieces. I do a lot of professional work that is advertising, and so until it's released, I'm not allowed to show it to you. So even though, like you said, I've been working till probably 2 or 3 a.m. every day this week, it's nothing that I could be like, hey, look, this is what I did, because it has a release date and I can't show it to you until it's released. So, but I do animations, I do GIFs, I do layout, I do production, I do design, whatever it needs to take. And so between Ari and I, Chris Burgos, who's also contributed to the anthology, Rob and Buddy, who of course runs Comic Book School. We do this anthology every year, and we're here to tell you all about it and draw some characters from it. I'm happy this year I got some more pieces in. I didn't, again, get my comic finished because I always put myself last. But I did several pages for Ari, for A. Rubin, and I also did a coloring for a flash fiction by Ted, who I think it was Darren who drew it, and he's the Marvel editor, friend of Buddy's. And so I got to work on that. So we got through a lot, and it's a lot of work. But at the same time, I get to meet all these fantastic people and contribute to, a really great anthology. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's been phenomenal. And I'm actually going to have to get out of this PDF real quick. And I want to show some of Dee's really cute animated sequences, as well as some of her professional work that she's done for the Comic Book School. So hold on one moment, and let me exit out of this and add a new screen.
Got so much going on, that guy.
I know. You're just so There's just so much going on here. All right, here we go.
Just let me know when I need to bring out the shade and the girl buttons.
All right. So we have this super cute, I want to say the little witch on a broom.
Mhm.
I mean, she's become kind of like the icon for D. Whenever I see her work, I always see this cute animation. Well, actually, this is the first time I've actually seen the animation, but it's always nice to see this icon. It's kind of like her avatar. Before I knew what D looked like, this is how I thought of D. As this, really
as
cute.
a witch.
Oh,
As a witch.
cute. Okay.
It's a very cute little witch. Yeah.
I mean, it's just the season.
Exactly.
I'm actually thinking about dressing up for her as Halloween. So
Do it.
You gotta do it.
I want
You gotta
pictures.
do it.
I want pictures.
Dude, that has been your profile picture for a lot of stuff. So please
Yeah.
do it. You have to. That's it.
It's destiny.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is. It's so, and we're gonna look forward to that. We're gonna hold you to that. So next weekend, we want to see the costume that you put together. In fact, I would like to see everybody cosplay. Let's see some cosplay of this of Dee's character. That would be really cool. So another animation she did. Here we go. I don't know.
And these
Dee,
are
do you
just mostly animated GIFs from stuff that I did for merch.
Mhm.
That's actually my angry cloud because as a
He's
redhead, I have a
adorable.
temper. And you
He's
can't always tell
adorable.
people about it, so I have angry cloud, happy cloud, and sad cloud.
Oh, okay.
They
Again,
have,
so-
they have
so
little
cute.
adventures with the sun. Sad cloud can be happy when it's snowing, so
It's very, very
they
cute.
each
I
have
love
a
it.
little character bio thing that goes along with them. But
Uh-huh.
angry cloud was my first, and I ended up making hats and pins and stickers, so a lot of stuff.
So if you can't cosplay the witch, cosplay the cloud. I think
Oh, I'll totally do that.
Or
That's
the
a very
sun.
easy costume.
Exactly. All right, we have another animation here. Oops, I didn't realize. There we go. Here we got it.
Yeah, sorry. That it is an angry cloud. He's not
Yeah,
exactly PC
Just-
about
just-
certain things.
just ignore that.
That
We
was
can
my hat
see-
that I made, and then
Yeah,
the pins.
you can see all the merch there to go along with it. Very
Yeah.
different.
You didn't check up and censor that, Gerald?
No,
Yeah.
let's just well, we're all here. We're not about censorship, but we definitely want to just give a little bit of a heads up.
It's my fault. I'm a bad influence.
It is.
what it
It's
is.
all Sebastian's fault.
We're gonna have to get
It's
to
working
Sebastian
because he
there in a
told me
sec.
to.
But
Sebastian,
here
you're
I'm gonna
supposed to be the good one.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
said that?
So the other thing that I've been
The
doing
Disney
on here
movie.
is helping Buddy to produce a more branded content for because we have a YouTube channel. We go live every Tuesday.
Right.
So we've been doing a lot of shows. We were doing them a couple different times over the year, trying to find the right sort of time and place to do them. But we've done a lot of banners, a lot of different contests, things. So a lot of the stuff that we did this year, I sort of helped to art direct it. We had a sort of brand standard to go by, and this is just some of the stuff that we produced: headers, graphics, pro tips, things for the website, things for Twitter, and then the end credits for our show.
Wow, so professional. I think we need to do something like that, Rick. We're a little behind the curve with this. But this looks phenomenal. So Comic Book School, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in terms of the
I
anthology.
found
and-
Waldo.
Say what?
I found Waldo.
Oh, you found Waldo?
Waldo,
Okay.
yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, that was the whole thing.
So we
this
ran
year.
a contest because Buddy is never at his table at Comic-Con.
Nope.
If you found Buddy, that you won a prize.
Oh,
A couple
really?
people did win.
Yeah.
We gave out
Markers.
pens and a couple of books and things, and so that was fun because Buddy is hard to
Never where
find if
he's
he's
supposed
not
to
one of
be.
his panels. So
I see.
yeah, it was a bit of fun.
So where's Buddy? Right? That's what you got to
Yep.
do. Where's Buddy?
Find your buddy.
That has to be the theme for the
I
next
like
book.
that. I like
Yeah,
that.
find
Find,
your
your buddy.
Find your buddy. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. So we got to see all this wonderful, and Dee, she's in a museum too. I mean, she had a gallery. She had a gallery show.
No,
so
she's
very-
not.
Well,
She's
ours
right
wasn't a
here.
museum. It was a gallery for sale. So
Oh.
the artwork was sold out of the show.
Well, that's
And that's
even-
when I was
that's-
in Dallas and I worked with an animation group. There were 10 or 11 of us that were in the gallery show. And I think every one of us sold a piece. And then the guy that said, hey, I really want to do this, I think he almost sold out. So he works for Nickelodeon now. So we kind of it's like my little celebrity link. So
Yeah, so it was well, how many of us artists can say that we were in a gallery? I know I can't say that. So it's just really, really, really cool to see that artwork as well.
Now, of course,
So-
everybody else can because I see Arielle with his hand up. What about
I
you?
saw it.
What are you, double A? Yeah, no,
No.
you're just
And it was
in
from
the
high
museum.
school,
That's
too.
Yeah.
It was from
Oh,
high
yes.
school too.
Yeah,
I
so-
got in a gallery in high school.
Oh, well, okay. Well, this is perfect because let's move to talk. We're going to hand the mic over to Arielle, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself. So give us your elevator pitch while I show some of your artwork.
Hi, my name is Arielle Lupkin, and I am a jack of many art trades. That's basically me in a nutshell.
That's so short.
I know it's very short, but there is method to my madness. There is method to my madness.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about your method so I can actually get through some of your phenomenal artwork here, and you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
So ever since I was little, I was creating stories, and my parents always said, if only we can channel this creativity for a force of good.
Force of good. Okay.
A force of good. And so I then went to school. I went to the School of Visual Arts in New York City, and I now have a BFA in animation.
Awesome.
I also do special effects makeup. So I do storyboards, animations, illustrations, makeup, and I am now a certified dog walker.
Yes, congratulations.
Not a certified dog walker. I was a dog walker. I'm a certified dog trainer.
There we go. Yeah, because you had told me that during the pre-show, so we wanted to make sure we worked that in there. Because how many people can say that they have that diverse a resume? That's pretty incredible. But here we go. I just showed this really phenomenal artwork is here. But
thank you.
Look at this. Check out this cover. This was used for the banner, and this is one of the artwork.
So I'm actually the original creator designer for Mr. Stupendous.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Major props to that.
Thank you. I actually met Buddy through my uncle.
Your uncle, okay.
So my uncle says he has this friend who worked in comics, and I'm straight out of college. And he's like, here, why don't I set up a meeting between you two? So Buddy and I, we both live in New Jersey. So we met at a Barnes & Noble, which actually when I was little, we did a lot of choir shows.
You sing too?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
I said I'm a jack
worked
of
at that
a lot
Barnes
of
& Noble
art
for like
trades.
7 years.
I'm a jack of a lot of art trades. I sing, I dance, I act, I draw.
That's right. You could do, and you have a great voice. You could be a voice actor as well. There you go.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have to tell Rick. She does a great Powerpuff Girls. She does like.
I just stuffed this pussy in Buttercup. I'm hardcore.
Oh, no.
There you go. That was for you, Rick.
No.
Anyways, so I met up with Buddy at the Starbucks at the Barnes & Noble. We talked, and then he officially dubbed me Intern 1.
Intern 1. Okay, so that's another
That
feather
was
in your
my
cap.
previous title. Now I've graduated from that.
Yeah, the cover artist. And sequential. Yeah.
So I met Buddy through my uncle. I helped him with Comic-Con. And it was a lot of fun. He actually helped me meet all these wonderful people, meet Ari, meet Aaron, meet Sebastian. And honestly, I cannot say that I don't know where I would be right now if it hadn't been for Buddy.
Oh.
But during the pandemic, like I said it before, when I mistook dog walker and dog trainer, I actually was a dog walker. And because business was run dry and I had to support my art somehow, I decided the best way to do so was to make pup portraits. So I did that. Oh, that one was a cute one. I think that one was one of my favorites. That one, and there's another one I did where there was a dog who sadly passed away.
Oh.
And her favorite toy was a Charmander plush.
I don't think I have that artwork.
I know. I didn't put that one in there.
But yes,
but it was very cute. And then I just had to find a way to support my art. So I became a dog trainer. And so I am dog trainer by day, artist by night.
That's a superhero story if I ever heard one.
So you don't sleep.
Exactly.
The insomnia deals with that.
Yes. All right, and that's a really good segue into the final member of this illustrious crew that we have here. She mentioned how she doesn't know where she would be without people like Sebastian. So let's get Sebastian in here. And Sebastian, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Who's this Sebastian you speak of? I don't know.
This guy. I see this photo of you. This has to be probably my favorite photo of you. No one looks so happy to have a nice, tasty beverage in his
I
hand.
com-
And that's
I love this picture. I've seen it so many times. Like, yes, this
I
is
could go
it.
for
This
one
is
right
the
now.
expression one should have when they have beer in their hand.
Listen, I give my wife full credit for taking that picture because of her photographic eye. So yes, I am Sebastian Bonet. First of all, before we get into me, I do want to say congratulations to Comic Cast because that is a big milestone that you guys just did. So congratulations, guys. I love giving a shout out to everyone who worked on the anthology at Comic Book School. So I thank everybody and thank Ari for putting me a part of this project, for reaching out and everything because this was a fun project. And also to big shout out because like they said, I met Ari through and Aaron at pretty much at New York City Comic Con at one of Buddy's panels and the Creative Aftercon. So those were just some of the things. So I really do stress to people. Definitely network. And without that, I am Sebastian Bonet. I am 1/3 of Nerds It Around. I am the showrunner at Imbion. We did 2 successful virtual conventions over the summer, which I want to thank everyone who participated because without everyone who
That was a lot of
participated,
fun.
oh yeah. And I thank you guys again. Without you guys, this show wouldn't have been what it was. I work with very phenomenal graphic artists, graphic designers, comic book creators, writers. Imbion is a big family so that we pretty much come together and pretty much help people with the contract work and everything and help people learn and all that. And we like seeing and working with other networks and watching them grow. I am an artist that is my comic Dead Planet that I debuted on the scene in 2016. It is a mad scientist experiment that goes wrong when I last came on the show. It is being revamped. I am still working on the revamp, but I'm also working on another original IP being released directly on the Imbion, so stay tuned for that when you follow. And I just give people hell on Nerds Around, so that is just part of me. There we go. That is all Sebastian. Yay.
That is a great story. In fact, I was so intent on listening, I wasn't scrolling through all your artwork because you gave plenty of art here. And I just want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out back to you with Nerds of the Round and Imbion because similar to what the comic book school is doing, it's all about that networking. It's finding those, connecting people with talent and putting together things, creating things. And it's the spirit of true spirit of independent creation in comics, and it's so good to see that kind of love going around and making sure that we can all make our visions and our dreams, become a reality with talented people. And I was going to say that Sebastian gave me so much stuff. I actually didn't even show the other stuff that he sent me. He's just he's a beast. He's like always working out stuff. And just like he said, he's doing a version 2.0 of his comic that we're showing here. And his art has just it's evolved. It's come such a long way, and I think that it was so good to see him. Like when I had him on the show last time, it's like he didn't hesitate. When he wanted to do a comic, he jumped in head first. And I think that through coming into connection with all these talented people, he's just upped his game. And I just really love his personality and what he's doing with nerds. I always tune into that show because that is just a fun crew to hang out with and hear all their antics and their great stories. So check out Sebastian's work. And I think that's what is a good because now we got everybody's bios in terms of what they've been doing. I'm going to hand the mic back over to Ari or AA, and let's talk a little bit about this great project that you guys are working on, which is the second story in the Mr. Stupendous comic short story process. If you, Ari, you want to like fill us in a little bit about that?
Sure. So first, just talk a little bit about the anthology and how that came together, so that would make sense. So around the time of 2019 Comic-Con, Dee already mentioned that she had given she had been challenged by Buddy to make an 8-page story by the next Comic-Con, and she gave him a schedule. They worked on the schedule a little bit. It was reviewed by some editors, who Buddy knew in the community, and then they brought it out to the whole comic book school community and had the 8-page challenge that anybody in our network could make an 8-page story, and we would try to get them out, and was decided we were going to put together an anthology. So when COVID hit and everything had to go online, we made these forums, the comic book school forums. You could go on create.comicbookschool.com or directly from the main comic book school website. There's a tab for the forums, and the entire challenge was run in these forums. Buddy put up blog posts about each step of the process along the way, following the schedule that Dee had made, and people were challenged to get together. In that first anthology, my story in there was Mr. Stupendous. Mr. Stupendous is a superhero spoof, a satire. He's the most powerful man in the world, but his problems are all too human. The first edition, the first 8 pages were thank you for joining the forum. We'll look for you on there. But it followed basically his everyday life. Like, he's up all night fighting crime, so he falls asleep at his desk at work. He can't write, and
I
has
laughed
to get
because that
into-
was his favorite panel.
His wife is starting to wonder what he's doing out all night. He has to use his superpowers to fly to France, pick up a nice bottle of wine, try to make it up to her. He's got a problem because now everyone has cell phones. There's no places for him to change into his costume. There's no phone booths anymore. So check out the first anthology for the joke that came out of that, and it was like a bunch of series of these kinds of jokes about these superhero tropes that we all know as comic book fans. Arielle was the artist for this. It's actually an old idea I had. I tried to do this story 4 or 5 years ago, actually, with it, but it never actually came. Never worked out. I had the pages. We never actually put it out. So I brought the story back, redid the story. I had learned a lot in between the first time I tried to make it and last year. And working with Arielle, we got the first Mr. Stupendous story in. For the second story, for the second anthology, we had the theme of the time in. The time in was in INN, like a hotel. And Buddy challenged us, and he said, if you had a character from the first anthology, you should really try to develop that IP and do another story about that same character. I've thought about it because when I first heard the time in, I thought like Twilight Zone, kind of, science fiction or horror type of thing that, that would be what fit in. And it didn't really fit with the tone of what Mr. Stupendous was and what I was doing with it. But thinking about how it worked and following that, and my other story, the flash fiction story in the second anthology, is more in that vein. But for Mr. Stupendous, we came up with the idea of a time-traveling villain named Dr. Wen. And Dr. Wen has the ability to narrowly escape certain doom at the hands of Mr. Stupendous by jumping to various other periods in time. Dr. Wen character design is actually by Jarrell, and he designed that character. Once we had the idea to jump him around in time, I wanted each page of the comic to look like the period of time, the comics from the period of time to which he jumped, to which the fight jumps. So when we jump back to the Golden Age, it should look like a Golden Age comic. So when it jumps to the silver, that was from the silver page, kind of in the Jack Kirby style. That one's by Michael Gracia, who, we have so many artists on this project that, they can't, there's not enough cameras for them to all be on the same show. But so Mike Gracia did that one. That was a Silver Age, so it should look like something from the Silver Age. We went back in time to medieval times. We had another artist, Evan Scale, who I met through comic book school, through online, who did working with Jack Holder from one of the stories in our first anthology. And that's his page. That's from the Renaissance era, Shakespearean England. He also did the medieval page. Sebastian did post-apocalyptic far future anime, and also kind of a late 90s, early 2000s image, Rob Liefeld type of page too. So I really wanted each page to be in the style that we were jumping to. So we had multiple artists. I also want to give a shout out to Rob Anderson from the comic book school from the first anthology, because his nonfiction comic in the first anthology actually used 8 different artists. 7 artists, I think, because one page he just had a script, but it was the other pages are 7 different artists. So I also got the idea of using multiple artists on the story from him. And once we had that, then we had the whole crew here. Arielle did the cover for it, and Dee did the first 2 pages, which were the present day and jumping back to the Golden Age. Like I said, Mike Gracia did the Silver Age. Sebastian did the anime page, the Rob Liefeld kind of page, and a page where they sort of jumped around in time, and Evan did the Renaissance and the medieval pages. So we have this character, Dr. Wen, not like any other time jumping doctors that you might know. I don't even know why people ask me that. You know, yeah.
Yeah. We gotta do that Star Lord.
I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. There are maybe some references to that guy in the throughout the thing. We'll see.
All right. Let me. I want to save that for when we actually. Yeah. If we're going to be doing. I just want to give everybody a heads up. This would be perfect now that we can go into the live drawing part of the show, and this is where Rick will take over hosting duties, and he always loves this part of the show. But yeah, this is where we get to go. We can go dig deeper in terms of like who Mr. Stupendous is. You gave a great overview, so hopefully there's still some non-spoiler things that you can talk about Mr. Stupendous. Yeah, and also Dr. Wen. So spoiler alert, that's what we're going to be drawing. The first drawing challenge will be Mr. Stupendous, and the third one will be Dr. Wen. And we're going to hear all sorts of great things in terms of like the great, fabulous art direction that Ari gave me in terms of who Dr. Wen is. And I think Arielle and AA can talk about the art direction behind Mr. Stupendous as well as we start going into that drawing part of it. And of course, now that I've shared all this stuff, I know Rick, I can see the gears are turning on in his head. He's really excited about
evil thoughts.
Yeah, he's basically going to stump us with some nice Rick co-host challenge things for live drawing number 2. So that being said, let's go ahead and get the art cams ready to go. I believe.
Let me get my Violet Beauregard on. I need to put my hair up for this.
Okay, gotcha. And while we do that, I'm going to move myself down in the totem pole here, and I'm going to put Rick at the top.
Where you belong.
Yeah, I belong.
Oh!
I belong here on the bottom. So here we go. I'm going to. We're going to have. I guess I'll let Rick decide now how much time we're going to have, and when the time will start ticking. 10 minutes, okay?
15.
15 minutes. 15 minutes. All right.
Oh, that's too generous.
Okay, you're right, Sebastian.
I'm just messing with it. No, I'll take the
No, Sebastian, I'm generous because we all know how bad Gerald draws.
What is this?
We all know that Gerald needs that extra 5 minutes to like get his act together. But I encourage everybody to draw along with us, just like the drill that we do with all of our Let It Outs, is we encourage audience participation. And we have a sister page called The Art Show on Facebook. So what I would love all of our guests, all of our audience members out there to draw along with us. We're going to be doing Mr. Stupendous. So do a screen capture right now. This is what he looks like, his modern day version. But just so you know, Ari mentioned that in the current Mr. Stupendous story, he time travels. So you can actually do like a myriad of different interpretations of both Mr. Stupendous and
Not a myriad.
Okay. Define myriad. Okay, basically
I can't hear that word without thinking about the musical Heathers.
That's so funny. I think that basically the sky's the limit. It'll be a great exercise to hear people or to see what people come up with in terms of their own interpretations of Mr. Stupendous and Dr. Wen. They're very rich in their design, and I think that it'd be really cool to see people doing what they do best. Do a screen capture right now. Draw along with us. Let Rick know in the comments field that you are drawing along with us, and then post it to the art show and let him know that it's there. And we will show your artwork at the end of the first live drawing. Well, actually at the end of every live drawing session that we do. So again, the mic is now in Rick's hands, and he's going to manage the clock and do the interview duties from now while I struggle drawing like I always do. All right. All right, Mr. Stupendous. I'm going to unshare this and get my art cam. Rick, you just go through all the art cams, show everybody what the magic.
Well, thank you for telling me how to do my job, Daryl. I appreciate it.
All right, go for it. It's all yours.
So I'll just start with a quick question from someone named Joe Tolliver. He asked if the anthology complete, and are people able to buy it now? And
It's free.
If so, where?
It's free. And yeah, the anthology is a free download on the Comic Book School site. If you go to comicbookschool.com, or there's the direct anthology download page. But if you go to any of the Comic Book School site, it will be on a sidebar. It'll also be in the comics tab. You just click on it, and you can download the digital PDF for free.
Right.
If you
what are we doing anymore?
if you I think we do have plans to print it
Oh,
eventually.
Arielle and Dee and Sebastian, time has started.
Oh,
There you
damn.
You gotta get started. All right.
Yeah, you only got 7 minutes to go.
Hey, now you tell us.
No. Time starts now. I'll be nice.
Okay. All right, Rick,
Yep.
go ahead and get somebody's art cam up so we can put the pressure
Will you
on.
stop?
I want to see the magic happen. There we
There
go.
you
Here we
go.
go.
There you go. But yeah, one thing that just related to that is important to know about the Comic Book School is that all of our educational resources and both of our anthologies are free. It's important, especially important. One of the things that we believe in and that Buddy has emphasized is that there are a lot of comic book educational sites out there, but one thing we do is we give you access to all of this for free. Buddy has an amazing network of different professionals from his work in Marvel and Wizard and elsewhere, and all of the stuff. The forum is free, the anthology is free, all of the panels that we're doing online on the YouTube channel are free, and that's something that differentiates Comic Book School from some of the other educational options out there, because we want to make sure that it's accessible for everybody, that there isn't a barrier for entry. If you want to learn about the craft and business of making comics, we invite you to come and join our community.
Nice. And that's that's all to digital. I think why Joe asked is because he wanted it. So you don't sell books like
Not yet. They will be printed eventually. They have not been yet. Hopefully by the con season next year we will have some physical books for sale, but for right now it's just a digital download on the website.
Okay. Well, that's better. That's good enough for me. I'm glad. And free? Why? What made you, after all this hard work, why go free? I'm sorry. I'm a little confused there because you did a lot of good work here, obviously.
Well, like I said, first of all, it's part of the Comic Book School philosophy that all of our stuff is free. But also, it's a good way for creators to network and to market themselves. For example, we had a couple of stories in the first anthology that ended up developing into properties that people were selling. So Jack Holder and Evan Scale story from the first anthology was in the same world that they were doing a Kickstarter later in the year, and they were able to get the exposure to the whole Comic Book School community and be part of the message boards and promote it, and also give like a little teaser of what was coming in their story. It ends up working like that. Same thing for Chris Burgos' story that he did with Mike Ponce in the first anthology, the Teddy story, which we talked about last year on when we came on Comics Cast, and you were drawing characters from his story from Teddy's, and he made a book of Teddy's that he's now selling now, so it was kind of something that could develop into that. The other thing is that it's important to get published work for a lot of our creators. In our first anthology, we had people from every stage of their comics career in this one, from people who it's their first time creating, all the way through people who have done work for like Buddy and Darren, who have done work for Marvel, people everywhere in between. But for a lot of our creators, it's their first published work, and it's important just to get a book out there, to get their work out into the world, so that they say they have something. Like when you say, what have you done? What can you show me that you've done? That there is something there that they have done. And I know, coming from the world that I'm coming from the prose writing world, there is something to that legitimacy of getting published by a different thing, because it's comic book school and it's Buddy, and people know us from the panels and the cons and everything. There's a lot of value that you can get even from being published in a free anthology.
I love it. I love the whole idea. That's one of the reasons. Also, one of the reasons I joined Comics Cast is because I like the idea of helping to promote and help to get artists get out there in the world, to be recognized and become known to more people, and they get that jumping board to potential success if they work enough for it. And I love what you guys are doing.
I thought you joined Comics Cast for me.
Actually, don't flatter yourself, Jared. Please, Gerald, please.
Okay. Continue.
And you ruined the whole thing now. Thanks.
You're welcome.
There you go.
So how did the school of the comic book school start? Who came up with the idea?
So Buddy Scalera, who is the founder, and he is the head of Comic Book School still. He is a professional comics writer. He's written for Marvel and a bunch of other places, and he used to work with Wizard magazine. And if you guys remember, Wizard from back in the day was the comic book trade magazine. And he started doing educational panels when Wizard started doing their cons. And he would do these educational panels. They're great panels. He would get a pro in from their network, and they would do for example, just last couple of weeks ago at New York Comic Con, we had a panel that he's been doing every year, where you had a writer and two artists, and it was Elisa Quitney, I think, from a page from her comic, and we had I'm blanking. We had
Sean Chen.
Sean Chen there, Jamal Igle, and Billy
nice.
and Billy Tucci, and they put the panel up on the he put the script page up on the screen, and each one had a pad and some markers, and they laid out the page and started drawing it, and it was to show how different artists would interpret a page of scripts. You do that panel every year. Most of the panels, he also always had the Creator Connections panel, which is you bring your business card writers and artists, and you bring your portfolio or your business cards or whatever, and you just mingle across and you meet. That's actually in that panel where I met Dee and I met Arielle in that panel, and I met Sebastian years ago in an extension of that panel, which happens in a bar after New York Comic Con. And
best place to meet.
Yeah, and you just, Buddy is the best networker whom I've ever met, and he just pushes people together. He says, "Here, you're a writer, you're an artist. Here, exchange information." All that. And that panel happens every year. The anthology is actually named after that panel, Creator Connections. So there are all these panels. We had social media for comic book creators, and it's all the brainchild of Buddy, and he brings in people who he knows, who work in the comic books industry, who want to give back by teaching at the panels. If you go to the professional track panels at these cons, a lot of them are run by Comic Book School. And then during the pandemic, we had to go online, and we had to figure out a way to transition to doing it online. And the anthology was kind of the focus for that. It was like, okay, now we're the Comic Book School. We're going to actually have people making comics. Because the thing was, Buddy would say that every year he would say the same people at the panels, and ask them, what have you done since last year? You made a comic, yet. And a lot of them would say, no, well, I'm still working on this or I haven't done it. So he's like, you know what, he's going to issue the challenge. And if you can get a comic done, you'll get it done and it'll help guide you through it. He did a blog post with each step of the challenge, with an Avenger story that he did for Marvel. He did his story pitch. He did his plot. He did a script. He had Ron Lim did the pencils for the story. He had the original pencils up there. He had the inks all the way to the end, to lettering and then production. And there was a blog post for each one that people could follow along. We had people first on just Google Meets and Zoom, and then on the YouTube channel that kind of mimicked the panels that he would do at the conventions while the challenge was going on, and it kind of developed into this thing on the forums. Everybody would post their progress on the forums. That was part of the challenge, was to post the progress on the forums and to get feedback from other people in the community. So that's kind of how it developed.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Big fan of it. So let's pretend that I was some sort of artist. Let's just pretend, right? How to get in contact with? Is there on the site? Is there a way to get in contact?
So you go on the site, you go on the website comicbookschool.com, and you want to do two things. You want to click on the newsletter tab, sign up for Buddy's newsletter, because when we do the next challenge, it's going to announce it in the newsletter. It's also a great resource he sends out when there are jobs in comics. He sends out articles that he finds that are related. Nice. Information about the YouTube show. We have the publishing guidelines for a wide variety of different comic book publishers on there. So you definitely want to sign up for the newsletter. And then you also want to sign up for the forums, because as I mentioned before, the challenge is run in the forums. When the next challenge happens, it'll be in the forums again. So to keep it, unlike many other anthologies where you submit a finished piece or part of a finished, you have pages to submit and they either accept you or reject you, we allow anybody to join the challenge. Again, it's all about access and everything like that, but we do require you that you follow our schedule and our feedback process on the forums, so that you get the feedback from the community and you stay on track for the anthology. And if you can make it through all of those things, that all of the steps in the challenge, and you follow, you do what you're supposed to do on the forums, then your comic will be in the next anthology. Additionally, now that we're in between challenges, the next challenge for the next anthology isn't going to begin till probably early next year. I think we're looking around late January, early February about. But in between, we have other things going on the forums as well. So if you see something like people want to discuss things going on in the comics world, or what books they're reading, or if they have interesting resources that they think might be a benefit to the community, different topics that are relevant. I know Buddy's been researching a lot into NFTs now, because that's a big thing in comics, and you want to find out about that. We talk about those things on the forums. We have a read pile on the forums also, and different. You can discuss what's going on. You can promote whatever con appearances you're at, whatever shows, whatever YouTube shows or podcasts you're going on. If you have a Kickstarter, that type of thing, there's a self-promotion thing as well. But really, it's just a community where you can join. You want to become part of the community. You want to, be known on the forums, and that way, when it comes time to do the next anthology piece, it's a good place to meet other members of your creative team as well. I know for my flash fiction story in the first anthology, I met Mike Ponce, who was the artist on that, on the Comic Book School forums. I had never met him in person. I posted the idea for my story, and he said, "Hey, that sounds cool. I want to draw that." And that's how we hooked up on the forums. You have writers seeking artists, artists seeking writers. There's dedicated forums for writers and for artists to talk about craft. But yeah, if you want to get involved, sign up for the newsletter and sign up for the forums, and that's really all you have to do.
Oh, that's nice. Anyways, guys, for those drawing, there's 2 more minutes.
2 minutes.
got-
2 minutes.
2-minute
almost
warning.
done.
2 minutes. So there,
Yep,
there you
yep,
go.
yep.
Yeah. So again,
It
yeah.
sounds really good, and you really sounds to be very passionate about your work, which is something I appreciate and love myself. It's passion. When I see passion, I just want to jump in. I'm going to sign up as soon as we're done here.
Good.
So
Good. Yeah,
that's
we welcome you. We want you to come in. We want more people to come in to each anthology. We want to grow the community, and yeah, we would definitely welcome you in.
you got something good. You got something good going for sure, and I'm looking forward to see where you're going with it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So I was going to ask a question, but it would be
no, go ahead.
it will probably take longer than 2 minutes to answer. So I don't know if I
go
should.
for it.
Yeah, because Joe just wants more
Yeah,
time.
There's just one more.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to. I want to hear the story. I want to hear the story.
I will ask next time.
Yeah, we got 2 more
Joel,
challenges left,
yeah,
right?
you can trick me, Joel. You can trick me into asking a long question. I know that's what you do.
So do you want to tell us a little bit more about Stupendous, like his character that maybe you didn't mention before, like?
Yeah, so it's just Mr. Stupendous. He is a satire of basic superhero tropes. It's sort of like an and the interesting thing, like when I did the original character design for when I did the original character design with Arielle, we wanted to make it recognizable as what we were spoofing, but at the same time, we wanted to make it different enough that, you know, we have a superpowered guy with a cape whose name starts with S. You have to stay away from red and blue and, you know, these types of things. But at the same time, if the satire is going to work, it needs to be something people recognize. So we kind of you know, we spoke a lot about the color scheme and about, you know, different things. Put in the you know, we ended up with the purple and yellow.
I actually asked my friends a lot when I said the word stupendous, what colors come to mind, and the most common ones were yellow and purple and blue.
So
Okay.
you know, and we wanted to get that I wanted that old domino mask also. You know, you get elements from other superheroes as well. The symbol was important, that again it would be recognizable, but it wouldn't be too close. You know, so that way you're allowed to do more things in satire than you are if you're doing a straight you know, if you were just doing your own regular original superhero. But at the same time, you do want to stay away from anything that's going to get you sued or stuff like that. So that was the main that was the main thing there.
And with that being said, Gerald, before you start talking anymore, pencils down.
Almost done. Hold on.
Okay, all right.
No, not you, Joel. The guests are allowed to. Joel, stop.
I put my pencil down. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm
Joel,
done.
Stop lying. I can see.
All right.
Okay.
All right, you got me. All right, let's check out. Let's see what everybody else
Let's
did.
Sebastian's first.
Sebastian, killing it.
Okay.
You want to tell us a little bit about your this particular version of Stupendous that you came up with?
So just sticking with the theme, what was in the book is that, you know, different eras, different periods represented and different styles. So seeing that I've been loving anime all my life, I kind of did Mr. Stupendous if we went to the era where it was like the Fire Force. So we got Fire Force Mr. Stupendous right here.
So good. So good.
That's good.
I had to check out that anime.
It's pretty good. I'm on the second season now.
Oh, that looks great, Sebastian. Great work. Great work.
D. I'm gonna show yours now, so pretend that you didn't. Okay. You're muted.
Sorry, my dogs were going crazy. So for some reason, I think I had a pirate story a long time ago, and there's a lot of people who like, hey, Aaron's totally into pirates. And I was like, I'm not that into pirates, but for some reason, when I'm doing comics now.
You
I
are
like to
now.
do it. So that's Pirate Mr. Stupendous.
Ah,
Nice.
very cool. Can you zoom in? Can you zoom in?
Fiction in the first anthology was a pirate story.
Oh, that's what it is. That's
That
what it
was-
is.
Can you zoom in, D?
Buddy mentioned it to me yesterday. He's like, "You should totally do pirate stuff," and I'm like, "I'm not that into pirate, but obviously I'm not bad at it." So
Yeah.
All right, then let's look at Arielle.
Hold on, let me zoom out. There we go.
All
And
right.
let me. There we
Are
go.
you ready? Can we show it
Now we're good. We're good.
Okay. There
Oh,
we go.
the chibi version. The chibi version.
So chibi is actually I can get drawings done fast when I do chibi, and it's Halloween coming up, and there are probably going to be a bunch of kids dressing up. So why not be like a miniature version of Mr. Stupendous? Yeah, I'm Mr. Stupendous for Halloween.
It's so cute. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh. And Charles dropping here, looking good, guys, dropping by to say hi at work, so can't. Oh, well, I guess
Oh,
Rick, get away real quick. So can't stay. Okay, no problem. It's awesome. Thanks for stopping by, Charles. And just so you know, is like all of our guests here today. By all means, well, of course, Sebastian dropping in colors and making us all look bad here. He's giving a finished.
no,
He's
Jerry,
It's not
only
finished.
making-
It's
he's
all
only making
sketchy,
you look-
sketchy.
He's only making you look. Speaking of- yes,
right.
Speaking of sketchy, let's look at Yowls.
Oh,
There we go. Look
how
at
do you
that.
do hands that fast?
It's I learned it from Rick. Rick taught me how to do this. That's what it is. Rick
I
is
just told him to get good, and he's fine.
That doesn't work with me.
Okay.
I thought this would be kind of cool if Chris Pine. I don't know. I tried to give him a Chris Pine.
I see it. Oh my
I
god.
see that.
So I was
You're
gonna
right.
say, what if Chris Pine was Mr. Stupendous? That's kind of like what I was going for. So.
Okay, this is also really surreal just seeing a character who I drew initially for this thing being drawn in so many different styles. It's surreal to me.
Oh well, we're all fan arts here, and in fact, I think for me to when I was drawing Stupendous and like coming up with these different versions, of course Sebastian bailing me out because I wasn't able to complete my pages for the anthology project.
Like I said, you made it the character for
Listen.
Dr. One. You're fine.
It's what you created. That it was fun, man, because you created an awesome villain to work with the story. So you did work on this, bro. You did work.
You
well,
did.
You guys are just being too nice. I'm just saying that these were great character designs, and I love the story, and it was just so cool to see so many different talented artists do interpretations of Ari and Arielle's characters. So to me, it was just a treat, and I just felt like, hey, if I can do a quick version that makes him look like Chris Pine, I'm already gonna say it's like I think
Movie version.
Rick is gonna.
Okay,
like,
now he needs to just rip open a shirt and go agony.
Exactly.
And I would be set for life.
Yeah, I just thought it would be fun because I know Rick is gonna like give me a hard time, but it's like I think all of our guests are gonna have like animated or live action movies. So here we are. I'm gonna put the shout out right now. I'm gonna tag Chris Pine to be Mr. Stupendous.
There you go.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
There we go.
It's
Sell
canon.
it.
It's canon. Just how Ryan Reynolds in the comics was canon for Deadpool.
Yep.
Mr. Stupendous is canon. Chris Pine.
There we go. So, hey, Rick, did anybody from our audience participate? Hopefully, we got some really.
Sadly, nothing has come in. Just
Oh,
yet.
I thought I saw Marius said that he was going to be participating. So maybe.
Yeah, maybe he's a but Marius sometimes has a slow internet, so it'll come later.
Maybe a little later, but I'm just gonna say to all of our audience, if you're watching and you're still working on the drawing, just let us know, and we'll feature your artwork later on.
Nope, it's too late now. You lose.
Oh, see, I'm trying to be a nice
Damn.
guy, and
Savagely.
Rick is putting the hammer down.
It's uploading right now.
Yeah,
Tough-
it's too late, Marius. You
Tough
might
love.
no.
All right, okay, so we're gonna move
Wait, was
to.
I not paying attention? I completely missed Sebastian's.
Oh, you want to let's see Sebastian's one more time.
And he
No,
already
no.
removed it. See?
Let's get it one more time as it's a blank
it's not
page.
there. Hey, there we go. There you go. Fire Force, Mr. Stupendous.
There it
Nice
is. Okay.
sketch.
Wait, are you
I
also
love
in
it.
clip?
I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet. How many clip
cool.
users do we got?
I use
not me.
Clip sometimes. Clip Studio sometimes.
I have it on my computer.
I know I converted Aaron to it, and now I get questions like, "Hey Arielle, how does this work?" And I'm like,
I'm like,
I can't find
where is this function? I know it's in here somewhere.
And I'm like, she's like, I can't find it in the
Please
tutorials. I can't find tutorials. And I'm like, it's right here.
She's like, that's what I needed.
My favorite one is when you're like, I can't get the colors. And I'm like, and I look over on her page. She showed me her thing. I'm like, because your document's in monochrome.
Completely thought it was in color. Started drawing. Every color in the sun came out black. And I was like, what did I do?
And then I looked over and it's like, your document's in monochrome.
I was just
Clip
like,
does it.
Oh, I just
Thank
thought
you.
that.
Clip,
Thank you for that.
Clip
It
does
was
a lot.
hilarious. It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh,
Well,
I
I
was
thought-
so mad.
Arielle,
I
so
thought
bad
it was
too.
hilarious.
We're
Arielle,
not sponsored by Clip, by the way, but Clip does a lot. Clip Studio,
Yeah.
you can do a lot with it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow,
Yeah.
okay, won me.
Well, we're gonna have to get Clip to like sponsor, endorse the comic book school.
Endorse Nerds Around.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's true. And Comics Cast. That'll be we'll say comics. We'll say Clip Studio Paint is the most awesome thing since sliced bread. But anyway, here we're gonna go to live
No,
drawing number two.
no.
Nope, not yet.
Oh, we got
It's still
our
my
drawing.
turn. It's still my turn, Gerald.
It's still your turn.
We
Okay.
got a Mary Slane Rionico.
Okay.
piece. And
Let's see
are
it.
you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Let's check it. Oh
Yeah, look at
Wow,
that.
nice.
Fantastic.
That's intense.
Stupendous.
Excuse the
Stupendous. Yeah.
fangirling while I fangirl over my own character.
Man, he looks like he's
Well
gonna
done.
take somebody's head off, man.
I can see that. It's like he lives in the Batman universe, and I love it.
Oh yeah, this is stupendous.
He's about to stupendously mess
You know,
someone
it
up.
kind of looks like. Ari, you know that? Remember the splash page we did where he's standing in the rain?
Yeah, in the
It
first
kind of
one.
looks like that a little bit.
Yeah, it's the Sin City version of that
Yeah.
panel.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Very cool,
And
Mario.
Hi, Facebook.
Hang on.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
I think
I'm
that
in
is
love.
it.
I'm in love. I'm in love.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Marius. Always delivers some really cool gritty artwork. Love it.
I love gritty artwork.
All right, so I
Bring
would
on.
say that if anybody wants to draw along, they can still let us know. I'll leave it up to Rick to see if it gets past Rick to share it, to our with our audience. But that being said, this is going to be Rick's actually his most favorite part of the show because he gets to control it completely. Live drawing number 2 is the co-host, aka Rick Challenge. So Rick, take it away. What are we going to be doing?
We are going to be doing.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
the whole idea about the Dr. Stupendous and the villain is that it happens in different time periods, correct?
Yep.
Mhm.
For the storyline.
So my first idea was let's take that because
Okay.
and I put up some different. Let me see here. I put up some different times, like
Oh, no,
medieval,
it's-
sci-fi,
Oh,
noir,
yeah.
post.
I'm
Okay.
excited.
However, you're not. You're also going to have to. I got the characters here that.
Oh no!
Oh man.
Freakazoid's back.
So
Am I
there's,
the only one who's like excited for this? I'm like,
there's Sonic,
bring it
there's,
on!
there's Lopo, there's Gerald's favorite character, Freakazoid.
Yes.
Freakazoid. Freakazoid.
Okay. One
Okay,
thing.
quick hand here. How many here knows who Freakazoid is?
Oh yeah, we know Freakazoid.
Okay.
Come on.
I may look young.
Who didn't have the
know who
WB?
Freakazoid is.
Gerald did not know the first time I
Oh!
Get out.
Yeah.
Are you outing me?
said it.
Outing
I
me.
almost quit the show.
Hey,
So, anyways, we have Freakazoid, we have the Mask, Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, Kermit, Animal from the Muppets,
I love Animal.
Peppa Pig. I don't know the English word name for her. That's
Peppa
Peppa
Pig.
Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig.
Just Peppa with
We call her Bacon.
exactly.
Well, Sebastian
That's
does
not
anyway.
kosher.
We have
Hey,
Ben
hey,
10.
hey, hey. Let's get since Ari won't be drawing with us, let's get a few things added in from Ari.
Gerald, I've done this
Get a few
before. I always ask, okay?
Okay,
God
go for it.
damn. I mean,
See what you want me to
Benson,
give you a few
we
few
got
characters.
we got Benson and we got Blossom from Powerpuff Girls. I mean, I had
Come on,
to.
girls.
Yeah.
Let's do
Had
this.
to add it in, right?
So, Ari, any more ideas?
Any more that let's see.
I
like
tried to jump away from DC and
Yep.
and Marvel as much because we've seen those in those times.
right. Let's see. So you got a lot of. Let's add in Cookie Monster since we got the Muppets and
We
the
have a
kids.
lot of
theme
Muppets
here.
on this.
Yeah, so let's go with Cookie Monster. Let's go with
Gonzo.
you know what? I'm gonna go
Gonzo.
with Mario.
Mario.
Super Mario.
Ooh.
Let's go with Super Mario, and you know what? It's Halloween, so let's go with Jack
Skellington?
Yeah,
Yes!
Jack Skellington.
Yes.
This is a great
Okay.
list. Great list.
Yeah,
I'm in love.
Hail
I'm
to the king,
okay with
baby.
any of these. I'm done. I'm good to go. Bring it.
Okay,
Bring it.
so everybody knows what to do. Arielle, let's take yours first, okay? Let's see what time period.
Noir.
Be thankful I took a film noir class.
There you go.
Okay, so
Now I don't
Arielle-
know if I should keep this so others also can get it or remove it so everybody
Remove it
gets
so
something
that no one.
different.
Okay, so I have.
You have noir. And the character is
Noir Gonzo.
Please.
Oh God.
Pepper Pig. Noir Pepper Pig.
Noir Pepper Pig.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna
Yes.
be fun.
Okay.
And seeing we are doing the ladies first, D.
Okay.
I see here.
I have to get myself a reference picture.
Oh, post-apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic. Okay.
Okay, it's gonna be the Mad Max. Mad Max Cookie Monster. I'm going for that.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's Ben 10.
Ooh.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't know who that is? Let's do it again then.
Okay. Hey, I didn't get that with freaking.
Wait!
No, you're
She gets a
act-
redraw?
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go.
Tiarel doesn't get recounts, but everybody else do if they need it.
Sonic. She gets Sonic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know who Sonic is, right?
Oh, I know who Sonic is.
Okay. So post
It's that sandwich shop.
All right, Sebastian. Anyone here you hope you're not gonna get?
He can do all of
I'll
them.
take them all.
Yeah, he can do them all.
Yeah, he's
Give me your best shot.
Yeah, Sebastian can do all
your
of them.
best shot.
Okay, dystopian.
Dystopian. Okay, here we go.
And character.
Dystopian Freakazoid.
Oh, that would. Oh, you called it.
Oh,
It's funny. It's not the first
I-
time. This is not the first time I've drawn Freakazoid. So let's
Yeah,
go.
it is.
And it won't be
I had hope for Tiarel to get Freakazoid, but this is equally good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess that's
It's
me.
Tiarel's turn now.
Okay. Not Stone Age. Not Stone Age. Not.
It's gonna be Stone Age.
There it is.
I got Stone Age. Okay. I'm probably gonna get Stone Age Animal, probably or something like that.
Oh no, don't get Stone Age. Get Stone Age Blossom.
By the way, at some point, I might just have to do.
Oh,
No,
it
that
is
doesn't
Animal.
count.
Called
No,
Oh.
no. Re-roll it, you said? Double A? Yeah, I
I
heard you
didn't get
said.
a reroll.
No, but I'm trying to punish Tiarel so he doesn't get anything easy.
Kermit.
Stone Age Kermit. What do you think? Is that a stumper?
No,
No.
no, it's still too easy.
Why is he getting all Muppets?
We have a lot of Muppets.
Who do I got? Stone Age Gonzo?
Okay,
Or-
that's
Okay.
that's actually a toughie.
Yeah, you get a
Considering what Gonzo looks like, especially with the nose, I want
Yeah.
to see. I would love to see that like Neanderthalized, if that makes any
Hmm.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And for
Okay.
everybody at home, remember you saw all the choices. Pick your own and be part of this fun.
I fully
And,
plan on making my own wheel of this and doing like my own versions of this because this is fun.
Well,
And
it's-
this time you usually get 20 minutes because it's a little more challenging. So I'm giving you 5 extra minutes.
To everybody or just them? No.
Everybody.
Okay. I thought you were
But for
gonna
you
be-
saying that you get
You
10
get-
minutes, Tiarel. You get 10 minutes.
All righty. So this will be fun. Okay. The clock starts now.
The clock. No. Clock starts now.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Maris, I already removed them, sorry.
Uh,
There we go.
Else I would have.
My cousin is gonna love that I'm doing Peppa Pig. I don't think she'll know what noir is, but she'll love Peppa Pig.
I'm excited to see Noir.
You know, there was stories I read a couple of years ago of American kids speaking in a British accent because of Peppa.
What's the
And
pig?
Yeah.
they would all be, and yeah.
Well, that's just good. That's just good. The American knows their native tongue.
Yeah, that's what we got, and then you got the Daddy Pig character, and yeah, that's pretty much how they treat me around this house.
Oh, so which did you like the most of the on the wheel?
On the wheel, I like this more Pepper idea, and I think that's cool. I always I love Animal. I love the Muppets. Not really as familiar with Freakazoid as
Yes.
some of the people in here.
At least you knew who he was.
Yeah. And who else did we have? I mean, I put in, we got the dystopian Freakazoid going on there. We have, but yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. I want to see what they come up with for these. I feel bad now. Like I'm regretting that I didn't put in, I have all these characters because I obviously was influenced by. I don't get to watch any TV in my house. All these are from what my kids are watching on TV, and I should have put in Elsa also, but I feel bad that I didn't.
I think we had a good deal of
yeah, we had a good variety. We had a good variety though.
So, who's when growing up? This is for Arielle. When growing up, who was your favorite character of all times? When growing up, or still?
Is it a cop out to save the Little Mermaid?
No, you're the guest, so you can say whatever you want.
So for me, I had a lot of favorite characters. I just love cartoons. My parents were like, eventually you're gonna grow up cartoons. Yeah, like that happened.
Well, yeah, I mean it worked out. Now you have a lot of reference from memory you can dig into.
So my first character that I was able to draw by myself was actually Kim Possible.
Ooh, nice! I love Kim Possible. Yeah,
and it was so much so it became an obsession where I would just draw it like everywhere. Like, you know how when you go to restaurants and there's paper and they give you crayons.
Yeah.
I would draw Kim Possible on the crayons. I love Kim Possible so much. I kind of still know some lyrics to the Naked Mole rap.
Oh wow!
The Naked Mole rap. You wanna do a demo for us?
Yo, listen up, holla from Ron. Naked Mole rap is the name of the song, and I remember the last part is we go to Bueno Nacho Chamarito and Naco. Always garden says why not? I'm buying Rufus in my pocket. You can't stop it, can't drop it, can't pop it. You might just lock it. Poop. Rufus and Ron stoppable with our best friend Kim Possible. We're not afraid of any attacker. Say yo KP, we got your back.
Wow. Clap. That's a clap right there.
Yeah, round of applause. So I know the full poker rap, but in Danish.
Oh, do it.
Yeah.
No. No. Because this is an English podcast, yeah. I need to be professional.
Oh, it sounds like a cop out to me there.
Well, you call it what you want. I call it being professional.
What about so grunge?
What about you, Sebastian? Favorite character of all times?
That's a tough one because there's a lot of characters.
Freakazoid, nice.
Oh man, if I had to go, I had to say it was the 90s. Damn, it's tough to pick because it's Wolverine and Gambit for the 90s X-Men cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Those were some of my favorites. But I have to say if I had to pick with anime, it had to be Armitage the Third because that's from an anime that not a lot of people know about. But it was the gateway drug for me to get into anime, which watching that movie. So she's another one of my favorite characters. That also got me into sci-fi and dystopian and everything like that. And I just started looking into other worlds and everything.
Oh, so it's kind of lucky like dystopian landed on you then.
Oh yeah. I can say this is that the current IP I am working on is going to take place in a cyberpunk setting, and what was it? Also, too, Dead Planet takes place in a very sci-fi setting, like aliens and all that. And that's why I was like, it was fun working on Mr. Stupendous when Ari was like, do you want to do dystopian anime? I was like, dude, perfect, I'll do it. And I already was like, I'm gonna draw inspiration from Fist of the North Star, and Ari was like, go for it, dude.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We wanted to find things that people liked drawing, right? Find the right artist for each time period. And yeah, I knew Sebastian was into dystopian anime, and it was actually probably out of the styles in the book the one I was least familiar with going in. And there's like, and I need someone who knows the genre to do that page. And that's when I approached Sebastian about doing it.
Nice call, nice touch. And last but not least, D. He's too busy arting.
Sorry,
Favorite
I'm muting myself because my dogs are going crazy in the other room. So
they just want to be part of the show.
Of course they do.
Yeah. So favorite character of all times?
Hot Little Red Riding Hood. It's a Tex Avery character.
Hot Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, it's Red Hot Riding Hood. That's her name.
Oh, Red Hot. Okay, that made me less worried.
Well, you remember the old Droopy cartoons where there was like always this really hot chick?
Yeah.
And then Wolfie goes after her, and like the eyes come out and the tongue.
Oh yeah. I love Droopy.
Right. Well, one of the original cartoons that they did, I think it was probably from the 30s or whatever. They go to a nightclub and she's a dancer singer. She's got this huge voice and she just sings and dances. And of course, Wolfie's all about it and goes after her, but he never gets her. So she was my favorite.
I can see that. I get that. And what about you, AA?
My favorite character, I would say Tom Bombadil from Lord of the Rings, and I was very upset that they cut him out of the movie version, even the extended version. He's the only character in the book who's not tempted by the ring. When he puts the ring on, he does not disappear, and he's also one of the most powerful entities in Middle Earth. And it really, Lord of the Rings, then The Hobbit, and then The Lord of the Rings were what made me want to be a writer in the first place. I read them. I think I got The Hobbit from the Scholastic Book Fair in school in 6th or 7th grade, and then I read through all the Lord of the Rings in the following summer. And yeah, Tom Bombadil was always my guy.
Yeah, nice. I don't even know who this is because I actually never read the books, and I feel bad for admitting that. But
what's the time?
They're still, they haven't gone anywhere. They're still in print.
Yeah, they also have it on Audible for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they just came out with a new version. I think.
What's the time?
Andy Serkis.
Oh, what's the time? You got 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Thank you, 10.
Yep. I haven't.
You can read Lord of Rings in like a weekend. It's light reading, Rick.
The Hobbit.
No, I usually listen. I usually listen to audiobooks when I do art. Yeah.
Actually, Andy Serkis, who played the Golem in the movies, is
I can also do a really good
narrator. He's the narrator of the.
Is he narrating in the Gollum voice?
No, he's doing all sorts of different voices. I think I downloaded it, but I haven't gotten a chance to listen to him yet. But on the demos and things, he's doing voices for all the characters.
That's
amazing.
My boyfriend hates it when I do my Gollum voice.
Well, the Gollum voice is annoying.
No, because he's like, stop, it's too accurate. So I go, the precious.
Could you imagine if you make the Golem voice the bedroom voice?
Oh no, that's the one that he's like, you're not making the bedroom voice.
That's a bit much.
Why would I do that?
That's Sebastian, no, Sebastian. Bad.
No, that was the one condition. He's like, yeah, just don't do that. I'm like, why? Why would I do that? I may be crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
I don't know, man. The internet has some crazy people out there.
Yes.
I let the internet just decide its fate. Like, okay. Oh, kitty.
Yep. Here she comes.
Kitty out of nowhere.
Always making a guest appearance, that cat of
Yep.
yours.
There she is.
I think maybe that was the diva Djævel was talking about.
Yeah,
The cat.
the cat. Yeah, she's not happy about something. Not sure what
I
it
can
is.
hear her. She's coming to you to complain.
She's yeah, I don't know. What do you want, Dusty?
What do you
You want to be a camera?
what have you done, the double A?
Yeah,
Are you
I don't.
gonna
Well, it's a week before Halloween, but we finally put up the decorations this morning. She's probably not happy that everything is, everything is different than it was. They don't like that.
Why are you acting up?
So Matthew found the Gollum voice to be just too accurate. And
Yeah,
I
that's my
agree.
boyfriend. That's my
Oh.
boyfriend.
That explains some of the comments on you I read earlier on. Really big fan. I thought he was just a really big fan, but I guess
No,
he is
that's
a
my
really
boyfriend.
big fan.
And
Well,
my pen isn't working. Why is my pen not working?
Oh no!
is it out of charge? It's not one of
No,
those.
it's now it's working.
Okay,
There you
you
go.
just had to yell at it.
Yes, like I yell at everything. I'm not joking. I yell at my hand sometimes when it hurts.
Things would be so much easier if things started working just by yelling.
Rick yells at me all the time, so I get to
Yeah,
work.
and he still doesn't work. He still doesn't work. I was gonna ask that comic book school question that I said to wait for later, and I totally forgot what it was. That's how good I am. Speaking of professional,
You'll remember it tonight at midnight.
I will.
when the show is off.
I will DM you. I will DM you in 5 hours, Ari, with the question.
Yeah, and the splice in. Also send you a recorded answer. Just splice it into the feed.
So just to recap a little bit, you go to the comic book school. You sign up for the newsletter to get you get a
You
newsletter
sign up
about.
you get an email newsletter from Buddy that tells you news in the comics industry, advice for creating, all of that kind of stuff, jobs in the industry, what cons we're going to, what panels, about who we had on the YouTube show. But you also really want to sign up for the forums as well. The forums are really where the challenge takes place, and that's where you can network with other creators. That's where you can get feedback on your work, even if it's not for the challenge. And that was one of the great things about working on this project that was different for me. Because normally, if I was to do a comic, if I was going to hire an artist, let's say, to draw a comic, it's a different type of relationship, and you won't necessarily get the same feedback that you would on these boards where everyone is working together, and you have people looking at it who aren't like people who are working on the other stories also giving you feedback on your work. And it's a different type of relationship than if you have, say, a work for hire relationship, the way that a lot of comics are made. You might not have that same dynamic or that same dialogue. And with this project, with the Mr. Stupendous thing, because we had so many artists on it, we had 5 different artists on the project. And the letter, I also don't want to leave him out. Christian Doklemanski, who did a great job on the lettering with all the different styles as well.
Never forget the letterers.
Yeah, no, he did a great job. He lettered both of the Mr. Stupendous stories. But and you can do this on the forums too. I made a separate forum just for the Mr. Stupendous story, just for the artists working on that story, and there was a lot of feedback going back and forth between the artists. Because it was challenging in that they were all working on their pages concurrently so that we would be able to make the deadlines for the challenge rather than consecutively. So they needed to talk to each other about, page turn continuity, like this character, where they are on the last panel of this page, where the jump is happening, so they know where to come in on the page that they're drawing. But they also really did, they worked together. They gave each other feedback. They gave me feedback. And the story is better because of everybody's input and because of everybody really collaborating and working together, even beyond just doing their own individual page.
Yeah, it's about having fun, and when you have fun as an artist, you produce better because it becomes more relaxed and not as stressful, so to speak. I I do my best work when I'm relaxed and just having fun with what I do, at least. So I can definitely see that. And do have you started this almost recently, but you started it in an age where forums is actually becoming less and less
Yeah, I
a
mean
thing.
that was one of the things is like in the beginning, a couple of years ago when we went online, there was a lot of discussion about what platform we should use, and it was important to us and to have a platform that we owned as part of the site. So
Mm.
the forums are housed on the Comic Book School site. Comic Book School owns the forums; they're not going to be taken down. Um, a lot of people make groups. I've been involved in anthologies where there are groups on Facebook and things like that. And Buddy is leery of Facebook, and for good reason. They
I think a lot of people are. It's smart.
they took
Yeah.
down groups, right, and they're messing with people's pages and things of that nature.
Yep.
And he said, if you go with somebody else's thing, like what happens if you go with a Google product and then Google stops supporting it, and then you built up this whole thing and you don't have it. At least this way with the forum, because it's part of the Comic Book School site, we control it, right? It's not going to
Mhm.
be taken away like it might be if we had run it on a secondary platform, and that was a big
But
part of why we went with forums as opposed to something else.
but do you feel is there a feel that the forums is less popular than for example the Facebook page, because the Facebook page must be easier to come by. So what
Right. I mean, that's
do you have that feeling that okay, maybe forums is going out as it seems to have been?
Um, it was a bit challenging to get people onto the forums initially, because again, it's not someplace where they already are. But I think through the outreach that we did, um, that that it ended up working really well because it allows you to do a lot of different things
Two
that
minutes.
that you're not able to do in some of the other platforms. Like for example, you can have threaded conversations, which was just Discord was a an option at one point, but when we first started looking at it, they didn't have threaded conversations. They've actually run into that um, recently, so I can't reply directly to you on a lot of these things. Like if you post something, or if I post something, and then life happens, especially the last 2 years, and I'm not on there for a week, and I come back, I have a lot of messages. It's better when they're all grouped into one place, and I can
Yeah.
easily find what I'm looking for. So I think the functionality of it um, ended up being the deciding the deciding factor, and I think it worked really well for the challenges that we've run. It is a challenge sometimes to get people to sign up for it and to get them to go away from the places they usually are, but I do think the benefits of it outweigh the other thing.
It's good to hear that people got over gets got over the whole oh this is new. I'd rather not just skip it because that happens sadly a lot. So it's good
Yeah,
to hear that people are committed, and you do offer great things. After all, you offer if the potential is right, potential jobs.
yeah, and then the thing is that you know, it's just like anything. Like we are moving in areas that are like YouTube, where we had the YouTube show within the last year, and you can direct people to the forums from that. When we're at the now we're back at shows, like we're at our table, we have people sign up for the newsletter. You can also have them sign up for the forums there. At the panels, we can have a slide about the forums. So there are ways to get the word out there, and um, comic book school
I'm
isn't
done.
comic
Good.
book. There you go.
Yeah,
Comic book
it's
school.
you got to be done because it's actually almost pencils down. Go ahead, Ari. Sorry.
I said no, but it's not only about the craft of comics. It's about the craft and business of comics. So the marketing aspect is important, and learning how to drive people to the forums. That was something that we had to learn along the way.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And I'm glad to see you gotten so far with it as you have. Anyways,
Hold on one
pencils
second.
down. Pencils down, guys.
Pencil down. All right.
Let's start with Sebastian again, seeing he was the one I landed on when I said pencils down.
You just wanted to pick on me.
No, I wanted to see the Freakazoid. If I weren't so professional as I am, yes, I would have just stuck with your creation from the start, because in case you haven't guessed, my favorite character of all times is Freakazoid.
No, it's Freakazoid. I know that again. Freakazoid is a character who doesn't get a lot of love. Like I said, I drew him before for Buddy, who runs who actually is involved with independent wrestling.
Oh, nice!
Shout out to Pete Rosado.
I am too.
Oh, I gotta hook you up with him. He actually ran his first show in New Jersey, and has had people on the show. He's had like Kip Stevens, who's worked with WWE. If you're familiar with Orange Cassidy, he's also worked with him too.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
Tasha Steeles.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. I love what you did here. I think you've gotten lots of dystopian practice now. That your comic is gonna rock when you get that ready to go. Can you zoom in? Can we zoom into his head and like kind of like pan down? Let's check this out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hold on, let me get this. Come on, mouse, work. All right, so
there we go.
Let's scroll into that head.
Right into the crotch. Yeah. That's how you do it. That is
so if I could flesh this out more, really I wanted to go is that he's actually wearing a Freakazoid mask.
Oh,
nice.
So that's what I wanted to go for with the character, and then down obviously the baseball bat. I was gonna go for a Freakazoid pin right there in the jacket.
Yeah.
And I was just having fun with just sketching it out and everything. So
it looks great. I can't wait to see what you do with it. Maybe he can do a cameo in your dystopian comic. You can put him in the background, Freakazoid in your dystopian comic, like in the background panel or something.
Poster. There we go.
Yeah. And
I would have to change. I would have to change the name for what was it? Other reasons.
Oh, yeah. Well,
call him Frankazoid.
Funkyzoid.
Funkazoid. You can just change the F to an R, and it could be a homage to Rick. It'll be
there we go.
Rickazoid.
Yeah.
Rickazoid. Yeah.
so Arielle, you said you were done, and yet I can see your cam playing around with the. I mean, no, you didn't.
Look at that! I love it.
That is.
So in college, one of the electives I took was actually film noir.
Oh.
So, and one of my finals was either I could do any piece of art, I could make a script, I could do a drawing. I actually made a script on a cat named Two Tone, who's looking for the infamous red dot.
The red dot.
He's always one step behind. He's always about to catch him, but when he's about to get the red dot, he gets away.
I love that idea.
That is so.
And then, spoiler alert: the red dot turns out to be a golden retriever, and who kills other animals who are in.
What?
It's not going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. It was an assignment. I got an A on it.
Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it. I think get together with Ari and like.
Now you spoiled it. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, but
there's going to be a twist. There'll be a twist.
I actually do have to remake the characters because of reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then that's good. We're going to have to look forward to seeing that.
So for Peppa Pig, I thought, I've done a lot of thinking, and now I'm going to just go in the dark.
There you go.
How did that accent work for you, Ari?
Well, for me, I love it. I got the I've seen a lot. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Peppa Pig over the last few years.
What it is to have children.
Okay.
Oh, you have to have children to see. Oh,
I haven't seen Peppa Pig, so I guess I'm the obviously don't have a kid.
So far the wheel has landed on good things for two of the artists. What about you, Dee? Did you like your choices?
Oh, look at that!
I love it.
She put some background stuff in there. Environment.
Yeah, I kind of did Sonic in a dystopian future as opposed to Sonic dystopian, but
it works. It works.
I'm not as fast as some of these other guys, so.
Can we zoom in a little bit? Let's zoom in. Let's zoom into the character.
Yes, no.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
literally what got me back into art with Sonic fan fiction.
yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, the good side, the good side of
Yes.
Sonic
Oh
fan
God,
fiction,
there is a
not the.
dark side to that.
There is a dark side.
Oh man.
There's a dark side to Sonic? I didn't know about that. Really?
There's a dark side of Sonic fan fiction, Gerald.
Oh.
Listen, it's the internet. There's a dark side of everything.
The dark web.
It's like the Rule 34.
It's Route 34, like, oh my
Yeah.
God, to the umpteenth power.
Oh my god.
We will not reveal that on the show. For
Absolutely,
those who are actually
absolutely,
asking.
We will
absolutely
we'll-
not.
We'll leave it at that. But
That's Gerald's homework. He has to look it up and give a full report.
Use the incognito tab.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Otherwise,
Dee,
Facebook will advertise.
yeah. Well, I think Dee did a great job. I can
Absolutely.
definitely see Sonic in this dystopian future, or the post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic. That's what it was.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. So I guess did anybody draw along with us, Rick? Do you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, at least one did. He
Okay.
was actually fast this time. He came in almost 5 minutes early this
Really?
time around.
Who was
Yeah.
this? Who was this?
Well, the way I said it should have made it that he was early this time around and not late. This is Marius.
Yes.
Marius
Yes.
Bianco with
I'm coming for you, George.
That
oh
looks.
no, it's just
That's freaky.
I
Yeah.
love it.
it's
Me
the
too.
freakily how accurate the eyes are.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that staring down at you from
No.
a dark hallway?
Can you imagine being pulled
Can you
along
teach
by
me to
that
whistle?
into
Oh
the
my-
dark?
Teach me to whistle.
So
Look at that poor man. She's pulling him by his scalp.
This
Yeah,
this needs to be stopped.
So wait.
I was thinking more of that was like looking at the hockey mask.
This
Oh.
this creeps me out. Anything
That
else?
is-
Oh yeah, we got one more here from. Wait, why? Click. There we go.
Oh.
Sci-fi, cyberpunk bubbles
There we go.
from Sarah Semper.
Sarah killing it. That looks great.
Prepare to meet your maker.
That sounds so good.
Thank you.
Let me tell you about your auto insurance.
Let me tell you about your car's extended warranty.
But yeah, that was it for this time.
Awesome.
We have one more to go after all. So
Well, I think Sebastian, we're close to we're
Unfortunately,
like 5
yeah.
minutes till 3, and do you want to I guess we can kind of skip to like you doing your shout out because you got to get out of here. Do you want to do that real quick?
get out of
Yeah,
here.
I gotta get out. I'm sorry, guys, but yeah, no. So pretty much, I want to give a shout out to Ari, D, Arielle, and everybody at Comic Book School. Again, this was an amazing opportunity. All you guys who are watching, make sure you go to comicbookschool.com, download the anthology. It's a great book that has many amazing stories in it. And again, it was a great way to learn how to work in comics and everything too. If you just want to work with a team and all that. I want to give a shout out to Imbion. If you guys have not checked out Imbion, make sure you go to imbion.com. You can also see the convention that just passed. The virtual convention is on demand, so everything we did there. Again, shout out to everyone who helped put together the virtual convention. You go there to network, learn everything from marketing and just learning from other creators for music, comics, character creation, voice acting. It's all there. Check me out on Nerds Around every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This Tuesday, we're going to be talking about Squid Game. That's right.
Oh,
Squid
yeah.
Game.
I'm gonna watch it.
I love that
it.
show.
Gotta
I
watch
love
it.
that show.
Yeah, it's going to be me, Tone Law, and a special guest, Miriam Yu, who's been doing some awesome Squid Game art. So we're going to be talking with her and just, giving our take on Squid Game. And follow the Medusa's Cascade podcast. It is a D&D podcast that I am a part of. I play a lovable character. We'll call it Lovable, named Kyver in the series. It comes out every Saturday. And you can also find it on Imbion. Again, make sure to go to Imbion for all the new IPs that are coming out. So we got a lot of stuff in the work. And if you're just a creator that wants to network and looking to work on all our, just want to network, go to Imbion. There we go. That's all me, Joe.
There you go.
That is excellent. You got your elevator pitch like down to a T, and you got that great radio voice. So Sebastian, thank you for being on the show. I'm gonna check out the scrolling ticker. You have to wait till it gets to the very end, but that's gonna be Sebastian. Check out Nerds of the Round. Check out Imbion. He's a man of many talents, and he's always everywhere because he has to go to another cast, I believe. Or no training. I think you're doing.
Yeah, we're actually it's going to be Beyond's first training on YouTube. So it's a training that pretty much is Eric Hutch, who's the CEO of Beyond, went to Vid Summit like a year or two before the pandemic, learned a lot of stuff, compiled it together. He's doing his first training on it. It's actually stuff that he's tested on his wife's channel called Gaia's Essence, where the video went from 100 views to like thousands of views. Ooh. Just from the little things that they did, that they used. So in Beyond, in conjunction with our mag section, in Beyond Mag is going to start doing tutorial trainings and everything, kind of like master classes and all that. So we're going to be doing a lot of that over at Beyond as well. And again, we're going to be working with more groups like Comic Book School and all that, because again, we love what the community is doing. We want to continue to help the community, like network and get out there and connect, because we all want to build something which is great content, and we just want to support it all, man.
That's awesome. So thank you, Sebastian, for being here. I'm going to let you go because you're wanted.
I had to share this before he went.
Oh, that is amazing.
That's fantastic.
This is from Roy Mercado.
Killer.
Roy, that is sick.
That is sick. It's very reminiscent of the old Ben 10 before they chibied him down.
Yeah, this is Ben 10D. So yeah. You're free to go now. You can go now, Sebastian.
Kill it, Ari, kill it, D, kill it, Arielle. Guys, later. Thank you.
Got it.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Okay, so Roy, thank you so much for doing your interpretation of Rick's challenge. Man, I always enjoy it when we get phenomenal audience participation. That just goes to show that we're doing something right, because it's fun for everybody. Fun for our guests, fun for our audience members. So that being said, go ahead, Rick. What were you gonna say?
We are doing something right. I do believe it's called Rick's challenge.
I'm gonna say it's the co-host challenge that has Rick involved with it. So.
Okay.
It's the Rick challenge. It's the Rick challenge. Anyway, let's go to live drawing number 3. Oh, actually, did we show mine? Let's go ahead and show mine real quick.
No, we didn't, because.
Oh.
Yeah, we have it. Medieval Stone Age Gonzo. Can you zoom in? Can you zoom in?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it.
I had to say that Arielle gave me, I had no idea what I was going to do, but when she said, make him look Neanderthal, and I put the bone in his nose, and I was like,
I actually really like that. My
you,
sister's a huge Gonzo fan, so that's why I put Gonzo up there, and I'm like, now I can show her.
Gonzo, like 5 minutes ago, Gonzo was my favorite Muppet. Now
this just makes him look more badass.
Now it's Animal.
Oh, that just goes to show when I've totally made Rick disappointed in my art, my day is done. I've pretty much accomplished my goal for the day. But that being said, let's go to live drawing number 3, which let me pull up. Hold on one second, and I'm going to show the PDF one more time. And we're going to be drawing Dr. Wen, and that'll give Ari some time to talk about more details about Dr. Wen, like what he's about and what's he going to, if there's a future, maybe he can show up in maybe another story. Who knows? Maybe,
yeah.
We'll have to wait. So you have to actually download the book to see where he ends up, because it's definitely one of those cliffhanger things where you don't know where he's going, with it. But anyway, let's show Dr. Wen the original. This was the original character sketch that Ari told me that he wanted to do. Hold on one second. I am not professional here. There we go. Okay. All right, here we go. So Rick, thanks for bailing me out. So here we have Dr. Wen. And there was a lot of we were talking about some of the subconscious influences that came out in this one. Some say he kind of has like a Wario or a, what is
Luigi?
Luigi,
sure.
Yeah, Luigi. Yeah, right. And then there was the whole thing about him being a doctor and a time lord. Well, he's not a time lord because we're not.
Don't get him confused with Time Wars. Those are awesome.
Yeah, we don't want to do Time Lord because that'd be copyright infringement. We're not definitely going down that route. Lord. There's some unique attributes to Dr. Wen that Ari gave me specific art direction on. So if you can do a screen capture of this, if you're going to draw along with us, we'd like to see your interpretation of this. And it can be Dr. Wen from any time period. You can do your own variation. Just note that he has the Flavor Flav timepiece around his neck,
yep.
and he has that time traveling W belt.
I have a question about that belt.
Please
tell me you got inspiration from SpongeBob with like where he takes the Mermaid Man belt. It's like, oh, because you have an M for Minnie. You need to have it set to W for Wumbo.
Yes, Ari, that was exactly what you told me.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly it.
And I'm like, I Wumbo, you Wumbo, he, she, they Wumbo.
But anyway, I hope that we can get some good audience participation here. Do a screen capture of Dr. Wen, and I'll turn it over to Rick, and so you guys can take it from here. You can start the clock. Rick, it's all yours.
Okay, 15 minutes again, guys. And yeah, I can do this. Don't you worry, I'll do this.
Okay, it's all you. It's all you.
Yep. So, where did the idea of Dr. Wen come up at first?
So like I said, originally, Buddy challenged us to reuse the intellectual property that we used in the first one to write another story with the same characters, and I needed to come up with some sort of time travel element to fit into the theme. So I've heard a long time ago at a writing panel, not sure if it was at Comic-Con or if it was at a writers conference, but they basically said that your protagonist in your story drives the theme of the story, right? So but the antagonist, the villain, drives the plot, because what your protagonist does is in reaction to what to the situations that the antagonist puts him in or her in. So the element of time travel comes from the villain. That is his power. At the beginning of the story, he appears to be captured. He is defeated by Mr. Stupendous, and then he touches the time travel device on his belt and jumps to the next time period. I wanted to get. I actually was having trouble with it at first, and this is one thing that I did. I posted something on Twitter, and then hey, I have a time traveling villain. Let me hear your ideas for names of it, and it was great because it got a good note. There were a lot of responses. None of them were actually Dr. Wen, but there were enough from there that it helped me brainstorm and come up with the actual name Dr. Wen. And I liked the idea of it being a doctor because of there is this element of time traveling doctors, both Doctor Who and Back to the Future, things like that. And
Doctor Who's copyrighted.
Yes, and so is Back to the Future. But they don't. You have influences from different things. That everything is influenced by something else. So we have a couple of nods to some of them in the character design with the with the scarf and with the goggles and these types of things. And then when I sat down, with Jarrell, we had a video conference. I sort of explained to him who the character was, how he traveled in time. We wanted a theme of clocks and time travel, right? So he had the band for the time travel device for the W is like a watch band. He's got the giant Flavor Flav style clock around his neck, and I gave him some direction with that, and then he kind of took it and ran with it and went on his own. He added some features like the villain mustache and the facial hair.
Good touch.
Yeah,
every good villain have a magnificent mustache.
Yeah, and he had the jacket, the collar on the jacket. Also, I really liked that element as well. I think that's very distinctive, and it's a great silhouette of the character, which is also important because his costume is going to change along with the time period that he's in. He's not going to be. There are going to be elements of the costume that are the same, but his silhouette needed to be recognizable in case you're drawing him in a different time period where he doesn't look exactly like you expected him to. So the elements of that shape of that hair, the shape of the collar and of the coat, the way that the scarf goes, the different clocks and things like that. Those things were really important because again, because of the way that it's being drawn by 4 different artists, and because they're each drawing in a different time period, so the costume is going to be slightly different, that it would have those recognizable elements that would allow you to follow him and recognize him as himself on each page of the story.
Nice. I really like that. So, Gerald, if you just move your post-it or your paper a little bit up there.
Oh.
There you go. There you go. So, okay, so Gerald, I know this isn't about you, but the character is one you created. What went what went through your mind in the creation process? I think Ari wants to know this as well, if he hasn't been told already.
Well, I think Ari gave me such really good art direction that I really just went on what he was telling me. The only thing I did add that villainous mustache. Maybe there was some subconscious inspiration from you, Rick. I don't know. Maybe you were
tall, lanky, and evil. Yeah, sounds like me. Sounds like me.
But I think that it was a really fun challenge because I'm so used to drawing like fan arts of established art, characters from the big two. But it's nice to give complete freedom to or actually just honored to actually do a character design that Ari came up with. So it was fun. It was a nice departure from what I normally do. And it was fun. I really enjoyed it a lot. So thank you, Ari, for giving me that opportunity.
Thank you, and thank you for Jarrell for doing it, because Jarrell stepped up right away. Because that's one of the things with this team. You have 4 different artists, and the Stupendous character was already designed. Arielle had designed it the previous year, but then there are things that you need to have consistent throughout the book, because there is such variance between the pages. So someone had to design the villain, and Jarrell stepped up to do that. Someone had to design the actual effect that he uses to when he jumps through time. So that I wanted that to be somewhat consistent over the pages, and Sebastian stepped up and volunteered to do it. So it's always interesting, because I do a lot of prose writing, and then I have to do all of the character script to tell you what the character looks like to a certain extent. It's always interesting for me when I'm working in comics to see how the different artists, or how the artist I'm working with, interprets the characters, because no one sees my description of the character in terms of how they look like in a comic. You see what's drawn there. So that's something that's different than working in comics as opposed to other mediums.
I can only imagine how fun it must be for you to see all these different depictions of the exact same character.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is I wanted to make sure that was going on, that it really just wasn't one person because everybody has their own style, and people can draw in very different styles. I know these 2 pages are very different from each other in the book, and people can do that, but it was important to me that each artist was kind of an expert in their style, or that was their like signature style, and that we would get to see these different interpretations. I think, like, I read something this week from Charlie Cox, the guy who played Daredevil in the Netflix shows, and he did an interview, and they were asking him about if he was going to be. There's rumors that he's going to be Daredevil in the MCU now, and whether it was going to be the same or whatever. And he said he may or he may not. He obviously isn't allowed to say, but he said these characters, right? In the comic books, different people draw them, and they end up being different, and different writers write them. They sound slightly different, all of these things, right? And it's the same, like when a different actor plays the character, or you get a different writer who's redoing it for movie or TV or whatever it is, that it should be recognizably the same character, but each person's going to have their own interpretation. So in a way, it's a different character also.
Absolutely, I completely agree. And that's also why I personally never, when I see a new actor play a character, like with all the changes of Spider-Man, I've never gone, oh, this is gonna be bad, or it's been oh, this is interesting because, as you said, you're used to different personalities of the characters depending on who writes it, and it's basically the same depending on who plays it in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like it's the artist is when they draw these characters, right? They're your actors for you in your story, right? I mean, so
Yeah.
it's going to be they're going to have their own take on it. At the same time, it should, and especially this time because this was a number of artists working in the same story, that it would be recognizably the same character as well. That was probably what I was most worried about. Was the continuity aspect of it, that you should be able to follow the story even though four different people were drawing it.
I need to see it, and I'm looking forward to reading it now because I want to see how that worked out for you, because obviously it worked. It must have worked out, seeing it got so popular.
I hope so. Yeah, that's not. We just put the work out there, and it's for people to decide if they.
Yeah.
Please do read it and let us know. You know.
I will put out a critical review afterwards on the
There you go.
forums.
There you go.
So D, I have to ask you because I've never seen this process before. You draw with no background layer?
Yeah, well, it just depends. I didn't really set up the file that well. I don't normally draw with a background layer, no, because I have a tendency to layer things. Like when I'm done, I have like 27 layers, and I'm always moving them around, so I don't let the.
No, I more meant like
no.
like a colored background layer was like completely white or something. You have it completely invisible behind,
Yeah.
so it's only the nice. And that just baffles my brain because every time I just try that myself, I can't. So kudos to you to be able to, but I guess it's all about getting used to it.
Yeah, it's just kind of what you're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely, I love your depiction here. By the way, I have to say, how do you turn back a Sunwatch?
Huh?
How do you turn back a Sunwatch?
I don't know that you do. That's why he's got the belt, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Smart. That's good answer.
Yeah, we were thinking about that for some of the earlier comics, like we put a sundial or something like that. Like what kind of different clocks would change, and what would have to stay consistent across the different time periods. And really, it was only the silhouette and the silhouette, the color scheme. And yeah, Jarell and I talked about the color scheme a lot, and the belt, because the belt is the actual time traveling device. So when he time travels, he touches the belt or he presses the belt, and that's what allows him to travel through time. And that's the thing, being a doctor, right? It's a technology thing that he created, that he made his time machine rather than say an innate ability or superpower.
Interesting. So his outfit changes automatically depending on the time period he's in.
I mean, to some extent, it depends like what period you're in. So for both of them, I mean, when you're going back to the Golden Age or the Silver Age or things like that, they're going to be subtly different, and it's mostly going to have to do with things like the way the page is colored and the style of different artists that use it, but they're still recognizably more like that. But when they go into things like the Renaissance or medieval times, both of the characters' outfits change more dramatically, and then the elements that there are certain elements that have to remain consistent. So the medieval, the 2 pages that Evan did are probably the ones that have the most variation in the characters, and you can see it on the cover page as well that Arielle did, that had the present day version and the Renaissance version, which that cover page is actually an homage to the famous Flash 123 cover.
Oh yeah.
The Flash of Two Worlds, where they had the Golden Age Flash and the regular Flash. So I mean, he's always the same colors. He always has the belt and the clock. He's got the same silhouette with his hair and with the collar, but he so you know that it's him. But in the different periods, like when he's in when Mr. Stupendous is in medieval times, he's wearing armor. Dr. Wen is wearing also appropriate thing, not a full suit of armor like Mr. Stupendous would, but he's you know, there are elements that remain the same. He is recognizable across all the pages.
So does the time jumps and time periods also alter the minds in any ways? Like
it alters the dialogue. So
okay.
So like when he's in the Silver Age, he's making he's very quippy. I have a caption in there, and he he makes a lot of puns, like more like like Stan Lee's character. During those periods, he wrote with a lot of puns. He wrote with a lot of a lot of those kinds of things. There's editorial comments on top of the art. One of my favorite, again going back to Daredevil, is the old Wally Wood Daredevil that he did with Stan Lee, where he had like this running dialogue with the editor in the captions. Also, we make reference to a time period when he's in the Golden Age. The caption narrator sounds like the caption narrator in a Golden Age book. So they're
That's
when
funny.
they're in the far future anime. Like I said, I wasn't as familiar with it, but I watched a number of movies that Sebastian recommended, and I tried to get a feel for the dialogue, because to me dialogue is one of the most important things in terms of characterization. Characters should sound different from each other. They should have their distinctive way of talking. And there was an opportunity here. If you're going to do the spoof right on each page, then it's not only that each page should look like it's not only that each page should look like it comes from the time period, that each page should read like it comes from the time period as well. You need to get a feel for it. So when he's in Shakespearean England, he is speaking. There are lines that are references to Shakespeare's plays, but he's speaking with that grammar that a Shakespearean character uses. It's not iambic pentameter. A character like him would speak in prose in that time in a Shakespeare play if he was a character in a play.
Yeah.
Anyway, but there are references to there's a reference to a scene in Romeo and Juliet that if you're familiar with the play, you come up with it in the medieval one. Again, it's about the words you choose, the language, that type of thing. So I don't know that we don't get that much interior in here to see how they're thinking necessarily, but the way that they talk and the way that they interact with each other does change as they jump to the different time periods.
Okay, so my question is, if he jumped to a post-apocalyptic future where there was only zombies, he would become a zombie himself.
Yeah.
Is that not a way to defeat him?
Well, you don't control where he jumps. He controls where he jumps.
Oh yeah, but you can trick him to jump there.
You can trick him if you can. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to give away too much about what happens. But
did I just spoil the ending without knowing?
No.
Okay,
there are no zombies. But there is something that happens where neither character is in control of the jumps, where the jumps become random as they're going on. And I see the question: is he breaking the rule of time dimension? Is he also breaking the fourth wall? There are a couple of instances where we do break the fourth wall in the book. There are a couple of instances in the story where they become aware of elements that they shouldn't necessarily be aware of, and there are a couple of references also, especially in the narrator, that do break the fourth wall to some extent, although not necessarily as not on every page, but there are a few.
Yeah. Oh, I see D starting to paint, and that just makes it even harder for me to say that it's pencils down time.
Can I at least sign it?
Yeah.
Sign it.
Yeah, well, pencils down.
My pencil is down. What are you talking
Stop lying. you made that joke already.
All right, it's down.
Okay, let's start with D, seeing I was on hers.
All
I like the whole idea. I mean,
Egyptian.
he's missing the bad guy mustache, but I love it. I don't think that was a big thing in Egypt anyway, so it works. I like it.
I love it too. I never thought about a pharaoh version of Dr. Wen, and I think that's really neat. That's a neat
Well, I was
concept.
hoping to put the colors in because a lot of the Egyptians are like white and blue. Changing that over to like the purple and orange was going to be kind of interesting, but
we'll color it. You can definitely color it and send it back to us. We'll post it on the art show. I'd love to see the final vision of this piece.
Yeah, it's so interesting because you can't fit all of the time periods that you want to in an 8-page story. But yeah, that's a good one. That's one that we hadn't considered before.
Oh, the chibi version of Dr. Wen.
Constructing the belt itself.
Oh yeah, he's like, and it's so cute because it's like, what do I do here? He has a tiny screwdriver, and I almost thought that was like a battery. Like he had a battery as his timepiece. Like that's one of those miniature discs.
No, he's putting it together.
Like the watch battery. Yeah, it looks really cool. Very cool. I like it a lot.
And he's just sitting on the floor doing it because, you know, as a chibi, you sit on the floor and you're like,
He looks very devious. I like the eye
and what I love about Chibi is that you can like push expressions. So I didn't give him any pupils, and I just give him like this wide grin and like the slanted evil eyes.
Yeah, totally caught that. Very, very cool. I love it a lot.
Thank you.
We got one here from Sarah Semba.
Ooh,
again.
Sarah.
I love that eye detail.
Sarah's a big fan of also Japanese, everything Japanese.
And Disney.
And Disney, Japanese and Disney. Yes,
it's a good mix of both here. I really like it. I can
it almost
also
looks
see.
It almost looks like he's carrying like a like the Green Lanterns, how they have a lantern.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that, except that it's the timepiece.
I was told that there's other people posting as well, so let's jump. My internet is slow, sorry.
Just hit refresh. Maybe that'll fix it. Yep. And there we go. Ooh. Roy
Mercado's with the head here. I really love that.
Attitude.
Really animated.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So who would you Ari and
there's
Arielle?
one more. There's one more.
Oh,
here's
there we go.
That guy kind of looks like the Sonic villain.
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik. Well,
yeah.
As I mentioned earlier to Gerald, at least, is that he already got that look to him in a way. He's a mix of Waluigi and Robotnik.
Yeah, very good job, Mark. That looked really cool. Very cool.
Really good work.
So, just to finish my thought, and this is to all of our guests here. Who would you like? I cast Chris Pine as Mr. Stupendous. Who do you think would be a good fit for a live action version of Dr. Wen?
The guy that played Loki, I just forgot his name.
Tom Hiddleston?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Hiddleston. He has that lanky feel as well.
Right.
But,
I don't know how they look with a beard. But definitely whatchamacallit?
Or Drew Carey? No,
How
Jim
about that,
Carrey. Not Drew. Jim
I was
Carrey.
thinking because he was a ginger,
the guy from Game of
what's his
Thrones.
name?
The guy
John Bean?
No,
the guy who was in love with the tall Amazon.
Yes, her.
I forgot what his name is.
Wow.
Polborn? I forgot what his name is.
Me
No,
too.
he was too choppy in my. I mean, too broad.
He's not as lanky.
Strong boy.
Yeah.
He's not. He was.
What about
What did you say, D? Neeson?
Hold on one second. I'm looking him up.
Liam Neeson?
Okay. I still say, Roy also says Jim Carrey is
Jim
good.
Carrey, yeah.
Jim Carrey would be a good choice.
Because Dr. Wen does seem to have that very comical approach of him.
I'm going to jump in time now.
Exactly.
You can't catch me. I'm Dr. Wen.
Exactly.
But he's already played Dr. Robotnik, hadn't he?
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
should be.
That'd be kind of typecasting, though.
But I think that would be very cool. I think that'd be very cool.
I can't find the guy I was thinking of.
Okay then.
Well, wow, that was a really great. We got through our 3 live drawings, and feel like we got to know the comic book school. We got to know your crew. We got to know a little bit more about the characters. And I just want to let our audience know, if you did still want to draw along, feel free to let us know that you are, and we can show it at the end of this. But I really want to just dig a little bit deeper in terms of, and we talked already about the comic book school and what they're about. I guess what I'd like to ask all of you is the future, like what you think individually, where you see yourselves going, and as well as Ari, if you want to talk about what the future is for the comic book school volume 3, you know, when volume 3 comes out. I just want to hear about all the exciting things that I know that D, you're probably, I was going to say, D's probably going, I don't want to hear about it for another, like, you know, give me a month of rest, you know, don't tell me about it until next year.
I'm not talking about it until November, at least.
Yes.
At least.
Just had to take, we usually take a couple of months of rest from the anthology after it comes out. But
so tell the audience why. So tell the audience why D doesn't want to talk about it.
Well, because D is like, you know, we all rely on her to be the she is the not as much. We rely on her to get a lot of the things done that we need done that the rest of us don't do, or and to keep the rest of us organized. Hold on one second. Come on, guys. Sorry for guest appearance. Guest appearance.
Cameo.
Yeah, sorry. No, but you know, Dee was really the one who the challenge wouldn't exist without her, right? So the first thing, she came up with the schedule. She came up with she worked all of that out. She keeps the rest of us on track. We are not always the easiest or the the most the most organized necessarily. Myself and Buddy for sure. Dee's the one who keeps everybody on schedule and on track and does all of that kind of stuff that that you need to in order to get a project done. So going forward for comic book school, we are going to be still on the forums. We're now actually back on the con circuit now. We're going to be at we were just at New York Comic Con. I don't know where the next one we were going to is, but we did Eternal Con out in Long Island. We did New York Comic Con, and I think we're going to try to do some more, get back on the road and do some more of our panels that Buddy traditionally did in comic book school. But we also want to keep building the forums and keep building the community so that to grow the community for the next anthology as well. We had a lot of interest in it at New York Comic Con. People seemed interested in participating, and we're just we're bringing more people in, and not just people who are going to we welcome all creators who are going to do their stories, but we also, if you have other skills that you would like to contribute, if you're good in at running shows on YouTube, if you're good in the back end technical stuff and the website construction, that kind of thing, we're always looking. If you are good in promotion and PR or editing or any of those types of things, we're trying to bring more people in to the community to help with those things as well. So like, for example, last year we brought in Chris Burgos, who was the project manager on this anthology, and that really helped Dee and I out a lot, because a lot of the burden went to him, and it's different when there's 3 people as opposed to when there's 2 doing that. Buddy kind of stepped into the background a little bit for this anthology, and we kind of ran this one more with him as an advisor rather than an active editor. So it was really important to bring Chris in to have another person involved. So we are always looking for more people to come in. We're also thinking we're going to print the anthologies. The printing for the first anthology is in process. It will be available soon. I don't have an exact date, and we will eventually print the second anthology as well. So we will be able to give physical books, And then there's the YouTube show every Tuesday night. I'll let Dee talk about that because she is also involved. She is the producer of that show. One of the
Awesome.
many hats that she wears. So let her talk about that.
Cool.
So it's a funny thing when you make comics, and a lot of people who get into comics get into it because they are creative. They're storytellers, they're artists, they have characters they want to, produce. They basically, it's a creative outlet. And that's everything that comics is. And a lot of entertainment and artistic media is that way. But the thing about comics that I think a lot of beginners don't realize is that in order to actually get it out the door, you have to have a set of technical skills, or a person in your corner that has those technical skills that can produce and print the book, that knows what the tech spec is. If you're going to have a digital download, you need to know what your file sizes are. And that's kind of what falls on me, because as idea people, everybody wants to be like, hey, great, we're doing this thing and we've got stories and excellent and perfect. How do we get it out there? Well, you've got to have a website, or you've got to have a Kickstarter, or you've got to have a printed book. And those things are the technical skills that I pick up on, because I've worked in production, and I've worked in advertising, and I've worked in print production. And so a lot of times I'll say, hey, I do the production of a book. And people are like, yeah, we need to know about technical things about story. And we need to know about how, art needs to complement the words. And I'm like, yes, all of that is very important. But I'm talking about when the book is done, when your files are complete. It's not just taking it to Staples and going, fix this for me. It's not a single digital print. So especially with an anthology, both of our anthologies are 144 pages. So that's layout, that's consistency in type, that's knowing your, software program where you're going to put it all together. And that's the thing that I think creators are like, I don't want to do that. It's technical stuff. But you have to have somebody in your corner, or you have to have that mindset to put it past where you're creating the story and you're making the characters, and get it to somebody, get it out, get it printed, get it downloaded, get it, whatever it is, streamed. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I do at the end when we consolidate everything. Ari is Johnny on the spot with proofing, because Lord knows I can't spell and my grammar is terrible. But like, he goes through, he's an English teacher, he's a fine-tooth comb, and he goes through and he marks it red, and we make sure that you're not missing, the adjective in a sentence that makes it work. Or, we've written this sentence 3 times, Aaron, did you mean to copy paste this 3 times? No, I didn't. So like little things that, like, when you're creating the story in this epic world and this wonderful thing, you don't think about that. Yeah. And the big producers have editors, they have print producers, they have, print houses probably that they own, where they run this stuff all the time. There's a team of people that do production. Yeah. So making a comic, creating a comic is one thing, producing a comic is another. And that's why I shut my ears, because it takes a lot of being detailed oriented, being dedicated to making it right. And so that's one of the other things that we teach at Comic Book School, because there's a lot of people out there that are like, I've made 7 pages. And I'm like, cool. How do I read them? And they're like, well, they're right in my hand. I'm like, yeah, but you're going to leave this con. Then what do I do? Yeah. Where's your website? Where's your, book? What can I take away that I can read your story and follow up with you? And I think we've got a lot of friends. Rob does a show about Kickstarter backups, and they explain a lot about that. Like, creative people want to tell the story, and they're so good at it, and they have great art and great stories and great characters. But once you talk about it, having the product that somebody can take home is a whole nother set of steps. And so you can learn that at Comic Book School too. Yeah. You teach somebody else if somebody else wants to come on and learn how to do that.
there's an advertisement.
I'm the one with the most experience in that field, so it falls to me.
And I think that's a great advertisement for anybody who's watching here to learn more about. See, this is what I love about the Comic Book School, is that it isn't just about creatives coming together and an artist and a writer and producing that story. It's exactly what Dee talked about. There's a much bigger story to the Comic Book School. It's the production side, it's the technical side, it's the editorial.
Well, it's not just creating comics, it's the creation and business of making comics. And once you make it, if you want to sell it, if you want to market it, if you want to produce it, you need to learn all those things. Yeah. And it's not, you can do it yourself, but it's a lot of work. It's easier. And I think it's better. I think it's easier to get in a group of people who have some experience in those things you don't know about, and have them help you the first couple of times. You know, you work on theirs, they work on yours. Everybody promotes each other. We all rise together, as Rob likes to say. And you learn how to do it so that when you want to do your own thing and you're like, no, I got this. You have that learned experience.
I couldn't have put it better myself. And that's why I love the comic book school. I think it's great to hear those stories. And it's nice to know that it is, I think a lot of our audience members, they don't realize it's like herding cats, right? You have everybody that's doing things and you want to be able to get that story out there. And, you know, we're going to, let's move to Arielle and like talk to her about like what she sees in the future, or like if you want to talk about the future, if you want to talk about your contribution, because, you know, you come back from doing Mr. Stupendous Volume 1 and then doing Volume 2 as well. So Arielle, just give us your thoughts as well.
So in the future, I actually am working with Aria on making some shorts for future issues. I'm also thinking of this. I've been saying for like a long time. I have another script, not the noir script, but another script that I made in college, my first year for my storyboard class called Half Aqua, and I want to turn that into a webcomic.
So it's always cool to hear about these future projects. And so
the getting them done part is the hard part, because like I said, everyone is busy throughout the day. And one thing that I really love about comic book school is when I was working on the first issue of Mr. Stupendous, stuff came up in my life that I was like, how am I going to get this stuff done? So I contacted Erin and she's like, okay, we're going to edit this schedule because I know what you just went through. Let's make this work. As long as you get it done by this time, you're fine. And that really helped relieve some stress for me. Is that we all communicate, and communication is key.
Yeah. And I think that's the benefit of having an editor like R&D, is because you don't want to, if you have an editor that's going to come down on you and say, where's my pages? Where are my pages? Where are my pages?
No, I explain the situation to them and they're like, oh, I completely understand. You're totally fine. Just get as much done as you can with whatever is going on.
Yeah.
And I actually got it in the same week as the due date. So that, at least that was good.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm very thankful for my boyfriend who made some appearances in the chat. We were actually just started talking at the time. And I was finishing up the Mr. Stupendous comic. And I said, listen, I'm probably not going to be able to talk a lot today. He's like, no worries. I want you to focus on your work. I want you to do what you got to do. You got this. And I was like, and now we've been together for like over a year. And he's still like, whenever I say, sweetie, I have a project I can do. Go for it. Don't text me. Focus on your work.
And see, I think that's good to hear. Obviously, you have a wonderful boyfriend, great support community, but the comic book school, great.
I love the comic book school. They're always like telling me, do it. Work on it. Work on what you want to do. You have the stuff. I remember at Comic-Con this year, there was we were next to someone who sold nerdy cat drawings. They're like, you do nerdy drawings. You should try and do this. So I'm thinking, I should do this. And DM's still waiting on those reference pictures of your dogs.
Oh yeah, I'll send them to you today. I have a whole bunch of pictures of them. Pet owners. We have a million pictures of our pets. So I'll send them today.
So I probably started doing that to get some more stuff in.
Well, that's good to hear about the future projects. And I guess this is where actually I get kind of sad, because we're approaching 2.5 hours, and I just really wanted to really give our audience an inside scoop in terms of what the comic book school is about and what you creators.
One thing.
Yes, go ahead for it.
Just a quick note to what Arielle said, where she said that we worked with her on her deadline.
Yes.
In the professional world, nobody's going to do that for you.
I know.
I know, and that was like,
no, wait, let me finish. Yeah. You're expected to get your pages in on time, come hell or high water, because they're paying to get these things printed, and they're on a schedule, and they have marketing lined up, like all the things that go along with being a professional, which is why it's so good when you're starting out to start at a place like comic book school, or to start, independent, because you can learn what your pace is. Not everybody's going to be, at the level of the top 2, But when you're learning, that's why we created the 8-page challenge. 8 pages is not like when you read a regular comic, 22, 24 pages, one of those epic anthology, like that's a lot of pages.
Yep.
When you come up with a story, it's probably this epic, wonderful thing, right? Starting with 8 pages lets you figure out if it's, one, worth it for you to invest that kind of time, and 2, what your pace is. And as you grow in comics and as you learn all the things you need to know, what's your, pace for doing your artwork? How long does it really take you to write a script? How long does it take to edit your script? How long does it take to coordinate with the team of people you're working with, your letter, your colorist, your artist? So as you learn those things in comic book school, we're small, we're free. We're here to work with you to make your comic the best it can be, because we want our comics and your comics to be, exponentially good. So rather than trying to jump into Marvel because you're great at, Spider-Man script, or, you draw the best Batman at DC, starting out in a place like comic book school allows you the freedom to figure out what it is that you want to do and what your pace is, and learn all the different steps.
I actually have something to add on to that.
Yeah.
So like what Aaron said, like there's different steps you can take. I'm one of 4 daughters. I'm the second oldest, and all my sisters had the same path, going from one school to the same high school to the same college. I had a completely different path. I went from one school to a completely other school to 3 different colleges. And I always felt bad. And one thing my mom says that always happens, that she whenever I feel like that, she's like, your path may not have been the smoothest, but it's your path. And nothing in nature is truly smooth. So every path is different. You can, no matter how you get there, as long as you get there, the path will be as long or short and bumpy or rocky as it will be, because that's what's going to happen.
I love that story because I think often we all get kind of caught up in like, well, I should be here because X person is here. And I think when you can get in your mindset that we're all on our own creative journey, and how we get to that destination, that's what makes us who we are. That's what makes our art. And I think that's another AA thing. Oh no, that's well, anyway, I was gonna say that's where we definitely need to like just go at our pace, because that pace is our journey. And I think that's one of the refreshing things that I found about working with Comics Cast and having fantastic guests like you all, is that you can express these stories and let the frustrated artist, that frustrated creative, that frustrated writer, let them know there's an excellent network in the comic book school to help people get there. And I love what Dee said. It's like when you can break it down into this digestible 8 pages, then that gives you that benchmark where you can kind of like rise and figure out if you want to be there. And Roy says here, sold. Oops, I was going to. It says sold. There's a lot of truth in Dee's statement. Also, she's a natural salesperson.
Yeah, I want to hire Dee as my personal salesperson.
I think.
Listen, if you guys want animation, I'm available for hire. Just saying.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Awesome.
No bad words though.
No bad words. I'll take all the bad words out. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'll mark them all out.
So that being said, we're going to move to the last part of the show. This is where Rick really enjoys it, because that's when I get kind of misty-eyed, and because I'm going to get sad leaving you guys. And we're going to move to the part where we call it the Oscar speech. And we're just going to individually go to each one of you. And you can give your final thoughts, your thank yous, whatever you can wish for world peace. I don't know, whatever you want. But we'll start with let's start with Arielle first, and then we'll go to D, and then we'll end with Ari or AA. And let's just hear your Oscar speech. So here we go.
Should I do it in like the Oscar format of like,
you love me. You really love me.
Oh my gosh. Would you like me to do it like that, or just regular?
It's yours. The mic is yours.
Okay, so a huge shout out to my family, my mom, my dad, my 3 sisters, and my pseudo sister. Long story. I'd like to thank my boyfriend for being super supportive through all of this. No matter what the project is, he's like, "You got this, sweetie." With my dog training, he's like, "You got this, sweetie. I believe in you. You're smart. You can do this." And honestly, I'd like to thank my grandparents, who this past October marked the 10-year anniversary of my grandmother's death. Wow. Sorry, I get emotional when I talk about her. I actually wear yellow in my hair because of her. It was her favorite color, and she and my grandfather both really got me into art, and they let me be who I am. They didn't want me to be in a mold. They wanted me to be whoever I wanted to be. If I wanted ice cream for breakfast, I legit got ice cream for breakfast. If I wanted to be a complete weirdo, they let me be a complete weirdo. And they introduced me to painting, to sketching, to drawing what I see, and I miss them every day.
That is an excellent Oscar speech. I think I'm gonna break down myself hearing that. I love grandparents are awesome, and when they can be support mechanisms, it's really great.
She was young too. She was 64.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that story. So, Dee, ready to give your Oscar speech?
Oh God, I don't know. Am I? Thank you for having us on the show, because it's an awesome show and we love being here. I really do need to get one of those cameras like you have so that I can not draw digitally, because man, I'm messy. But for those of you who are interested in making comics and learning how to make comics and learning how to promote them, produce them, and the business of making comics, go to comicbookschool.com. Join up on the forums, sign up for the newsletter, download the anthologies. We've got Anthology Panel 1 and 2. Both are 144 pages. They're completely free, and they're excellent works. There's a lot of flash fiction. We have Ari to thank for that. And I just wanted to thank the entire Comic Book School community, because it keeps me active and creative in my personal life after I was kind of stuck in a rut for a while. And keep making comics and creating comics, because it's awesome.
I forgot to add Buddy. I'm sorry.
The whole community, Arielle, just say it. Everybody.
I love everyone in the community, and thank you, Buddy, for bringing everyone together.
We're gonna have Buddy come back on the show.
Yes,
and that way he can hear all your great thoughts. And where's Buddy? Buddy.
Where in the world is Buddy Scalera?
All right, so we're gonna move the mic over to AA, aka Ari, and you can give us your final thoughts and your Oscar speech. So here you go.
All right. First of all, thank you, Jarell and Rick, for having us on the show. Thank you for having us back. We didn't wear out our welcome the first time, so thank you for that. Thank you to for the Comic Book School community, especially for Buddy, who started it. As I said before, when I started as a prose writer and when I wanted to learn how to make comics, it was Buddy's panels and what he was doing with Comic Book School even back then that really helped me learn how to do it. Thank you to everybody who was involved in the anthology, all of the creators, all the stories, everyone who was involved in the background with the technical and with behind the scenes stuff as well. To my fellow editors, Dee, and to Chris Burgos, for all the hours you put in working on the book and getting the book out there and keeping me on track, and to everyone who worked on my story, on Mr. Stupendous, to Dee, Arielle, Sebastian, Evan Scale, who wasn't on here today, and to Michael Gracia also, and Jarell for the character design, Christian for the lettering, also Joel Jacob Barker, who did the illustration on my flash fiction story, but all of the creators as well. We really want to see everyone out here. Thank you to everyone who watched and participated, and we invite you all, as Dee said, to come join the Comic Book School community. Go to the website, download the anthologies, sign up for the newsletters and the forums, follow us. Everything is Comic Book School, at Comic Book School, www.comicbookschool.com, create.comicbookschool.com. Again, it's a very welcoming community. It's a very supportive community, and we hope to see more of you join it in the near future.
That was awesome. Lots of you can see that there were lots of people involved, and Ari nailed it.
No, this is for all of you.
Awesome. And I think that it's stupendous to have you all on here.
What does that even mean? Help the Dane.
Yeah. So I want to let everybody.
Wonderful.
Yes,
it means like amazing.
Wunderbar.
Wunderbar, yes. So if you look at the bottom, I just want to do one more rehash. So if you look at the bottom right now, we have the current how you can join I want everybody on our audience. I want you guys to join the comic book school forums. I want you. It's a great introduction to, just like what Dee mentioned about how you can learn the process. I mean, you'll get connected with great, talented individuals, but they'll also teach you actually how to produce it, how all the technical parts of it, the editorial part of it, and you're going to just meet some stupendous people. I'm going to use that word over and over. You're going to meet some really talented individuals.
Great, guys. You gave him another word to use over and over.
I'm going to use plethora and I'm going to use stupendous. Those are going to be my words for
those are your words. Myriad. Yeah, he had myriad.
Myriad. Yeah. So that being said, I would like you to go check them out. Also, if you look here, this is how you can download. And this is the greatest part of it. It's free. You get to see the fruits of this phenomenal team of individuals. You get to read the Mr. Stupendous story, but you get to read also short stories by other creators. And Ari laid down the description in terms of how many individual stories. I guess Dee and Ari, how many stories are in
this one? We have 8 comics and 11 flash fiction.
Yes.
Stories, 144 pages in total. We also have some articles by Jamal Igle and Brian Polito about that will help up and coming creators. Also, some good advice from there and in the book as well.
And that's why Dee was like pulling her hair out, because she had 144 pages to make sure.
A lot to put together.
Yeah, to put together. So that is fantastic. And also, if you check this out, all of these things, if you can't write them down, they are at the top of the comments field, so you can go check them out. Actually, at the end, I'm going to repost this. So this is how you can follow, get information about each of these talented individuals, as well as the comic book school. I encourage you all to join that community and to like and follow them. Perhaps there's a commission that you can get them to work on. I'll leave it up to them if they're available, because they're very busy individuals. But if you want to,
please.
yes. So Marius says, fantastic show. Thanks, guys. Thanks to the always fantastic hosts and awesome guests. Yes, our guests are awesome. We love you so much. And just as we always end our show, we want to talk a little bit about our charity partners. So let me pull that up real quick and let me add that to the stream. And if you check out the scrolling ticker at the bottom, just want to give a little shout out to our charity partner. And they're a charity organization that goes by the name of Gold in Fight. We are not financially tied to them in any way, shape, or form. We're just really enthusiastic and just want to be a part of this particular organization. They're friends with the leadership of Comics Cast, Joe Tolliver. He introduced me to them, and I've just become their champion. So we want to end our show talking about Golden Fight. Golden Fight is an organization that I like to think is big enough and small enough at the same time. Small enough in the sense that they are not nationwide. They have a very tight geographic area that they focus on, and that's my neck of the woods, which is the Mid-Atlantic region. And what I want to say that they are huge and big about is that they are an organization that helps families who have children that are dealing with really difficult diseases like cancer. And inevitably, when they are focusing on the healing of their child, financial difficulties will come up. And that's where Golden Fight comes in. This is where they come in big. This is where they come in huge. I thought it was like 98 to 97% of the money that they raised would go to these families. It's actually 100%. The leadership and all of the volunteers that are a part of this organization, they donate their time out of the kindness of their hearts, because perhaps they have family that has experienced this. Perhaps they have a child that's going through this, or maybe they have friends, but they know what kind of impact a very tragic disease that cancer can have, and how it can financially ruin families as they seek to heal their child. And Golden Fight is about that avoiding that ruin. They definitely come in and they rescue those families by giving them the financial support that they desperately need when they're going through this. So we would encourage you to check out Golden Fight. Like I said, we are not associated with them. If you find that there is an organization that you would love to make a charitable donation to, check out Golden Fight. See what they're about. And like I said, 100% of the money they raise goes to helping those families. So please check them out. So let me close this out. And one last time, I want to change the ticker here. This is how you can get in contact with our guest today. And it is in the comment field. And we really want you to send some love their way and support them in everything they do. So that being said, look forward to another edition of Comics Cast. It's good to be back. We're going to see you with 2 shows next weekend, and Rick is going to be doing a 3rd one pretty soon. So look forward to that. And it'll be Halloween weekend. So we got a very, very special guest for that Halloween edition. And I'm going to say with our guest today, I love you all. And can't wait to have you for Comic Book School Volume 3, Panel 3. I don't know what you want to call it, but when it happens, you're going to be on the show again because we want to showcase you. You're doing good things for the independent community. So that being said, Rick, you want to give some final thoughts before you take us out?
I mean, I'm just want to get this done so I can get onto the homepage and get the newsletters and into the forums.
All right.
So, guys, remember, art show, put your stuff up there, share your stuff, and yeah.
All right. See you next week. Comics
Bye.
Bye-bye.